Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is proudly brought to you by More Beer at www.morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank. Mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on cocaine.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
There's some sugary water, throw some yeast in there.
And you're going to drink good beer.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God. Oh, uh-oh.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Afternoon, non-football fans.
Oh, yeah, there is a game today, isn't there?
Yeah, only people tuned into this program live either have the football game on in the background or do not give a shit about football.
Should care less.
When are we getting a TV in the studio?
That's next on the list of things that we will do eventually.
This is ridiculous.
Before or after the stuff?
It's hard enough keeping you guys focused with no TV in the studio. I'd imagine what would happen with the television in here.
Well, as soon as we start the show, we'll figure that out.
Exactly. Yeah, I believe the San Francisco Giants are playing the New York Knicks right now.
No, I think they're playing Tiger Woods.
I think you're right about that.
I think it's a tennis thing today or something. Something's going on.
It's kind of a big game. It's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, we can go to the Super Bowl, baby.
Yeah.
Got to catch that Niner fever, son.
Have you got it?
No.
Are you a football fan, JP?
I used to be. I used to be real big into the Niners until a few years ago when they picked up Frank Gore, and then it was like, gee, what are they going to do now? Pass the ball to Frank Gore, and he's going to go for 1 yard. And I got real bored.
Okay, I'm not a fan, so none of this means anything. Couldn't I just get the quick answer, like, yeah, I'm a football fan, or no?
No, you can't. So then,
right.
And then I don't have cable, so I'm not watching it. But now that they're actually winning, then it's reigniting some of the passion I've had for my Niners.
As happens whenever a team begins to win.
That's true.
Fair weather fan.
People are reignited, yeah.
Hey, I was a fan for 25 years.
Yeah.
And then I stopped.
So back when they were winning, you were a fan.
Well, in the
then.
80s and the 90s, yeah.
And then they were losing for a long time, and you haven't.
For a long time. Well, and
you haven't been a fan.
It was also just a boring game at that point. It was all running.
Right.
They weren't doing anything. Mm-hmm. It's like being a Sharks fan, but worse.
Right.
If you can imagine that.
Yikes.
It's like being a Raiders fan, but worse.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tasty, you're not a Niners fan. You're a Raiders guy, right?
I like them both.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't choose one. Yeah, I follow both.
I see.
I go to Raiders games, but I don't go to Niners games.
Right. The Raiders games are more your crowd, all thugged out.
Yeah, ghetto kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He'll switchblade someone, doesn't matter.
Neck tattoos or tasty.
Actually, there's fewer shots at the Raiders game there is the Niners game.
Did you just take the last tub of popcorn?
Yeah. No Doc today in the studio, but we do have Tasty here. And you're still alive, huh, Tasty?
Yeah, last I checked.
What's the death pool at right now?
I think I owe you.
What's the over-under?
I owe somebody like $20, I'm pretty sure. I thought you'd be long gone by now.
You took the under, huh?
Tasty. I mean, when I brought Tasty on as like a full-timer here, I thought, well, this isn't a very big commitment. I mean, we're looking at maybe...
Well, how much has he got left?
2 years tops.
Right.
The way he's going at it.
No, you're doing great, though, aren't you, Tasty?
Pretty good, yeah.
Out there passing out Winterfest flyers every night.
I've been beating the streets promoting the event.
Yeah.
And I actually got the weather to change. You notice the forecast says...
oh, is it back to sunny?
Oh, it's got a little sunny mark on there.
Thanks for that.
Nice.
I stopped. I looked at the 10-day right when it became our Winter Brews Festival became 10 days out, and it made me a little nervous. So I stopped looking. I decided I wouldn't look again until Wednesday when I have to decide whether or not we're buying a canopy for everybody to stand under.
Yeah, the news is looking good.
It's getting back to sunshine, huh?
Yeah,
I like that. Yeah. That's good news for me. And
it's like you
and my bank account.
Major news. I guess people don't realize how much you've got it laid on the table. They like somebody to chop it off.
I hate it. I hate this stupid festival. I like it the day of, but I don't know. It's a pain in the ass. It's very stressful, and it's maybe stressful isn't the right word. I get a lot of anxiety about it because I have a lot of. First of all, I have a lot of personal pressure on success.
Sure,
I feel I don't like to fail.
Clearly,
and so I want it to be like I want it to be a big deal. I want it to be one of the biggest events of the year.
One of the best beer fests around.
Yeah,
that's the way we roll, right?
So there's that, but then there's also watching the the credit card reach its limit 4 times over throughout the planning of the event, and just going, oh, God, please buy tickets. Please buy tickets to this beer festival. Yeah. But things are going well. It's next Saturday, January 28th. It's in between the football playoffs and the Super Bowl, so it's the perfect weekend. Just in case you thought you were going to give your liver a weekend off between out partying with the games today and then what you'll be doing next Super Bowl Sunday.
No chance.
No chance. We're facilitating a party right in between. It's in Concord at Toto Santos Plaza. And it's cheap. It's $35 if you go online and buy right now. You can go to winterbrewsfestival.eventbrite.com, or it's $40 when you get there on the day. You get a commemorative glass. There's over 30 breweries. I was looking through my list of breweries. Fal Allen is in the studio today, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Wait, did you say in the studio?
In studio.
Yes, in the studio.
Yeah, Fal drove down from Boonville. Is that the actual town's name? Or is that just it is Boonville, isn't it?
Yeah, Boonville is where the brewery is.
That's what I thought. Okay, Fal drove down, and Fal. I was looking through my list of brewers today for the Winter Brews Festival, and I didn't see Anderson Valley on it.
What? We're not there.
I wonder if my guys didn't. Invite Anderson Valley like dicks.
I don't know. We go to almost every.
That's what I thought.
Festival we're invited to, particularly in California.
And I think you guys have been at our festival before, so we might have to talk about this after the show. My guys might have screwed that up because I was looking through the list to promote it today, and I said, "Where the hell's Anderson Valley?"
Oh man,
that's bullshit. I'm going to sell my ticket on Craigslist.
Yeah, nobody's going to go now, Fal. No one wants to go without you guys.
Yeah, well, I was going to go, but
not now. Yeah, screw it. Fal Allen from Anderson Valley Brewing Company is very generous to drive down to the studios today because, we had a nice time on the show last time, I think, but there was audio trouble because we had to do the interview in Morse code, I think is what it was, right?
Yeah, my knuckles hurt at the end. I had to rap those out. Painful.
Yeah. Boonville's, they're a little slow. A fantastic beer comes out of the place, but technology, not so much.
No, my internet service runs along barbed wire fence for most of the way.
Right. Yeah.
So it's even hard to get your show.
Yeah, you can actually see it going along the fence.
Yeah, when the farmer opens the gate, then he gets nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
Jimmy! Hey, close the gate! I'm trying to listen to the Sunday show. So Fal came down to the show. So if you didn't get your questions answered last time around, 888-401-BEER, that's the phone number, or our wonderful master Cicerone, Nicole Ernie, is in the chat room.
Hi.
That's how we roll, folks. Even our chat moderator is overqualified. Yeah.
What are the hosts then?
Master, well, you know what you are. I don't want to insult anybody.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's not go there.
Yeah. Oh. Sometimes at the breaks, Nicole's like, what am I doing over here? I mean, why don't you put
one helping me or hurting me?
Never.
She didn't want me to tell you this, but sometimes she's like, why don't you put one of those idiots over in the chat room and let me sit at the table? I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and I have to say, well, because there's a lot of they have big egos, Nicole. Yeah. They can't handle it.
That is true. I wouldn't be able to handle it.
No one could handle it.
Yeah.
Fucking glass ceiling.
That's right. No matter what Nicole does, she'll always be underpaid and underappreciated here at the Brewing Network.
Yeah, that's true. Welcome to the club.
But you will get lots of verbal praise and abuse. So
simultaneous.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Free beer.
So and free beer. Well, sometimes actually Nicole has to bring her own beer too. It's not even that good.
Man.
Yeah. And when she gets free beer, it's only 7 beers to our 10.
That's right.
That's plenty for me though.
Yeah. 888-401-BEER, or just hit the chat now button on the homepage. You can also watch all the action over at justin.tv/brewing network, and we'll have the foul cam going on today, plus the regular studio cam, so you guys can watch over there. If you have trouble with the website, that's always the place to go, justin.tv/brewing network, because it seems to never fail. It's a good little site. Also, don't use the chat room on the Justin TV page.
Yes.
Hit the chat now button on our homepage. That's where everybody is. If you're in a chat room and there's only like 4 people there, you're in the wrong chat room, I guarantee. Go to the other one. All right, so a lot of things to do today. Not only are we going to talk to Fal Allen, but we've also got a couple of AHA candidates coming on the program.
Oh, yeah, we did this last year.
Election time, huh?
We've been doing it for a few years now. It's for the American Homebrewers Association Governing Committee, which I'm a member of I'm a board member until 2013. So I've got another...
Unless you get impeached or something.
You mean 2013?
Right, yes, until 2013. So what we've been doing for the last couple of years, though, is try to give everybody who's nominated and running for election just a chance to state their case of why they want to be on the board.
Right.
And they write a little blurb about it also on the homebrewersassociation.org when it comes election time, and that's where you go. And they've always done that, and but we just thought this was a way that you could hear from them directly and, just get to know more about them. In my experience, everybody who's nominated is a fantastic candidate.
They're a winner, even if they don't win.
They're winners, that's right. Because you don't really even go out for something like the governing committee if you're not pretty geeky about homebrew and wanting to help. So, right. But at least this is a chance that you can hear what they have to say and then make a more informed decision. So tonight we'll be hearing from Terry Parker and Dave Dixon, both candidates. And I think we've got 7 candidates altogether that we'll do over the next several weeks.
How many slots are open this year? Do you know?
Yeah, what are the odds?
Let's see.
That's a rude question.
Let me have a look. I think there's only 3.
3, okay.
Yeah, Denny Kahn, Kurt Stock, and Gordon Strong's terms are all up this year. I do believe that at least Kurt Stock is running again. Denny and Gordon might have reached their term limit. I think you're allowed to do it for something like 6 or 9 years, and then you have to take a term break, and then you could run again.
That's weird that there's like term limits in homebrewing government. You know what I mean? Like the
Right.
least, I don't know, interesting, I guess.
Sure.
It's not like you're a senator and you're making laws that totally can destroy lives.
Right.
You're just talking about...
He's just talking about, just how to
getting
help
members.
How to help the membership.
Yeah, how to be a real nice guy.
But
you're learning.
they obviously take it seriously. So
They do.
Yeah.
They do. I have a self-imposed term limit of 1
Of
term.
1, yeah.
It's called being lazy.
Well, that's how you're helping. By
Right.
not screwing up anymore.
I stay out of the way. My whole platform was based upon staying out of the way.
It's good, right?
So, yeah.
So I won't fuck this up.
Yeah. I said that was, I think I...
That was your platform, right?
Yeah, I got on the radio and I said, listen, I promise not to fuck this up.
The tagline was, "You'll hardly know I'm there."
Yeah. If I do rerun, I'm going to make T-shirts and stuff like that, buttons that say that, Moscow.
You should.
Just like my first term, you'll hardly know I'm there.
Shaking babies and kissing hands.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll be doing that over the next couple of shows, and we got a couple of them on tonight, so that'll be good stuff. Couple of announcements. Once again, Winter Brews Festival is January 28th right here in Concord. It's at Toto Santos Plaza from 12 to 4. We got over 30 breweries, and if I can get my brewery organizers not to screw up, maybe we would have 31 plus breweries on the list.
We're also going to have a lot of food, so don't eat beforehand.
Yeah.
You will need to fill up at the festival.
Perfect.
I just added a new person, or a new vendor, Naked Chorizo.
Oh.
They do chorizo tacos and all sorts of stuff with chorizo, which I love.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Although
really
I can't think of a single person who really likes chorizo that I'd like to see naked, if you think about it.
Well, it's naked chorizo.
Yeah.
See, the chorizo,
I get it. Yeah.
All
right, so there will be great food and great music from Big Joe Hurt's going to come up and open the show. And then we've got Purple Haze, which is a Jimi Hendrix tribute band. You guys want to hear a little bit of Purple Haze?
Yes.
I just the guy's really good. I saw him several years ago at the Bistro, and that's how I got turned on to him, and he's pretty good. This is Voodoo Child from Purple Haze. Just play a little bit of it so you can hear that he's kind of a badass.
It's a little too fast for the song, but that's fine.
Is it?
Does he play upside down and left-handed?
He does, and he plays behind his head and with his teeth.
Wow.
Not at the same time. But he's good. Actually, he might be righty. I might be wrong about whether or not he's lefty. But he does play behind his head.
That I know.
But he's pretty good. You know, I was looking at there's pictures of him on the site. Go to purplehazeband.com if you want to check him out. I'm pretty sure that the drummer, this is how kind of full circle things come in the music business, especially in the Bay Area. I'm pretty sure that the drummer used to be Big Joe Hurt's drummer when Big Joe lived up in the Bay. And now, just by random coincidence, he's drumming for Purple Haze.
There's only so many drummers.
There's a drummer shortage.
Kind of looks like him, too. I pulled it up.
Oh, yeah.
All fish-eyed and weird.
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking at a photo, and he's not playing upside down and lefty, Val. So he does cheat in one regard. But I guarantee he's got acid tablets under the bandana. So he's,
Oh, yeah. Authentic. He's working at that.
Driving it in there.
He's trying. So we got them, and then headlining the show. And in fact, all the music for tonight's program is going to be our headliner. We're going to play a whole bunch of Forest Day.
Oh,
yeah, Forest Day rocked our first Winterfest 3 years ago, and they're just so good. And you'll hear, I'm going to play a bunch of tracks off their album tonight, and you get to hear how good they are.
They had to pull them off tour to get them for this event. Probably.
Yeah, we're right in the middle of it. They had a little 3-week period where they're home, and then the very next weekend they hit the road again.
Very cool.
So we caught them just in time, and you're going to want to see that. Go to winterbrewsfestival.eventbrite.com. All right, also, you can shop at Amazon through our website just by clicking the Amazon link right there in the center of the page, and that helps us out. You just click the link and then shop as normal. We get a little commission. And there's also an iPhone case available with the BN Army Hop Grenade, which I understand there were some issues with recently.
Yeah, a few faulty units went out or something.
They were too drunk to figure out the bottle opener, or?
Oh, no, an issue on the manufacturer side.
Nice.
The issue on the drinker side is given.
Because I would much more expect our listeners to be like, this. Why do I always get the warped one? It won't open a bottle.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
We're going to replace the few cases that were no good, and then there's a new version coming out.
Oh, good.
In just a few weeks, where it's not just going to be a Hop Grenade sticker; it's going to be integrated onto the whole case.
Oh, see, I thought that's how it was anyway.
We all thought that.
Oh,
but stay tuned; it's going to be cool.
Okay, well, so if you want a replacement, then just contact.
Yeah, and you can get a replacement if you don't dig.
All right, very good. Shop in the BN store; it's back up. A lot of different merchandise there. You get shirts and hats and stickers and things and stuff. Books. You get Jamil's books.
You can get Jamil's books.
Brewing Classic Styles is still in there.
Yep.
The Yeast Book with Jamal, and Whitey.
And Whitey.
Good old Chris White.
The Wheat Book. Brewing with Wheat.
Brewing with Wheat is in there. That's right. I sold out of the Gordon Strong book, I think.
Yeah. Did you ever get it in after the first time? I haven't seen it in a while.
No, I just got it that one time.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
I like that Brewing with Wheat book, too. I dig that a lot.
Yeah. So a lot of things in the store there. You can go help us out that way. All right, subscribe and join the BN Army just by hitting the donate button. If you become a recurring donor, you get entered into the More Beer monthly giveaway. And how much is that? It's like $100 or $200 gift certificate every month.
I think it's like $100, yeah.
$100 is a pretty good deal.
We can't use $100 for a raffle, right? For free.
Buddy. Yeah. Just so become a donor, and that's how you do that. Plus, it just helps us out. And you get updates about when tickets go on sale early and things like that. All right, all of these updates and more can be found on Twitter and Facebook. Send show ideas over to Scott the Jew, Scott@thebrewingnetwork.com. Send feedback to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Twitter game?
Twitter game.
What do you got?
I was thinking about kid names the other day. I don't know why. Don't start any rumors.
Okay.
And I was wondering if you could name your kid after a process used in home brewing or commercial brewing. I can open it up. Used in brewing, what would it be? I know Gloves named his kid Brewer.
Right. So he named him after the thing that is
of what he
makes beer
called. Yeah.
All right.
But I wonder if anybody would actually go so far as to name their kid
Vorloff or something.
Yeah.
Barge.
I was just thinking Vorloff.
Yeah, or
Vorloff would be badass.
Lupulin.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right?
Hopback. Yeah.
Right.
Hopback. Some bizarre thing. Maybe something new I've never even heard of. I don't know.
Can they be? Does it have to be a brewing process? Can it just be anything brewing related?
Anything brewing related. I like that better.
Let's do that. So open it up. Twitter game of the week is anything brewing related, and we'll send you a prize for whoever we pick at the end of the show with the best name.
Yeah, and I'm back 3 weeks backlog, so I'm going to come in tomorrow and ship everyone's prizes out from the last few games. So
very nice.
MASH would kind of be a cool name.
MASH.
Pretty good.
People wouldn't know if it was after brewing or the show, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Trying to get a Section 38, and I can't. I don't understand.
Yeah. I ever should change that stupid pit bull dog's name I have to Vorloff.
Oh, God.
So I'm fostering this pit bull trying to get her rescued. You can go over to thebiscuit.tumblr.com and check it out. And she came with this awful name, Prada. And I'm like, it's embarrassing. I take her for walks, or she's out in the yard. I got to yell for Prada in my pink shorts. I just feel like a big homo.
Prada.
Put a foo-foo on that dog.
Yeah. And put a little pink sweater on the pit bull.
Exactly.
You get a twin name of Gucci or something.
Yeah. I'll do that when I'm walking her and Walker together. I'll just change his name to Gucci. Prada and Gucci.
Or Marc Jacobs.
They'll see how
Jimmy
I'm dressed.
Choo, the other dog.
Yeah. Anyway, change her name to Vorloff. That'd be cool.
Did Nate and I just drop 2 designer names?
I think both you jerks did.
I secretly have a closet full of all the designer clothing. Women's clothing.
Hey, here's 2 guys that like hardcore music. Oh, look, they know Jimmy Choo and Marc Jacobs.
None of us, except for maybe Nicole, has ever seen Nate outside of kind of the beer world. But he goes to a regular job every day. I kind of wonder if he dresses up all designer every Monday morning.
Oh, yeah. Women's designer, actually.
Yeah, he's actually known as Sarah at work.
Yes. They wouldn't recognize me at all there.
Right.
That I am right now.
Yeah. Every Friday, he turns into his alter ego that we know.
The shoes I have, it's amazing. There's a closet full.
That's why you bought a new house, isn't it?
Exactly.
You needed a spare room.
A full walk-in closet just for shoes.
It'd be great. All right. So, that's what's going on.
Weirdness.
Yeah.
News.
All right, should we do some feedback?
Let's do feedback. I thought it was pretty good this time.
All right.
Oh my God!
You've got mail.
Kick ass.
All right, feedback's brought to you today by Hoptech in Dublin. Hoptech Brewing Supplies. You can go to hoptech.com and check them out. They're a great sponsor of ours, and they've just been real good to us, and I like them. You'll also find them at the Winter Brews Festival. They're going to set up their booth and show you their wares.
And their products.
Yes.
Do you get it?
I got it. Shit. All right, here we go. A lot of mixed feedback this week. Some that we suck, some that were good. David writes in, I've listened to every episode of Brew Strong and The Jameel Show, and they've been excellent resources. I guess this is just about Brew Strong and The Jameel Show. In fact, I've been brewing for less than a year, but I've brewed 15 batches, 14 all grain. Nice work. I've also had a bit of success in regional competitions using the knowledge and skills gained from the BN. I do have some concern over the direction of my 2 favorite shows lately, though. As a home brewer, I listen for home brewing tips, techniques, and recipes, but in recent months, the shows have turned more toward pro brewing. I understand the recent changes Jameel has made by going pro, but it seems the shows are becoming out of touch and losing momentum. Almost all the sponsors are homebrewery focused. Be careful not to lose your audience. Every week I watch for new episodes, and while I enjoy the pro brewer topics, I remain a bit disappointed. Blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes the shows do kind of shift back and forth from a pro focus. I will tell you this, Jameel has been doing those 2 programs, The Jameel Show and Brew Strong, for several years now. And now that he's opened his own brewery, it is flowing in the pro brew direction, but I guarantee you it will also bounce back the other way. It's just that sometimes he has to come in and plan a show based on what he's doing for his day job. Just for time constraints. It's either that or we get no show. So I kind of give him free rein to do the topics that are relevant to him at the moment. And he's actually getting a lot of good feedback about the pro shows, too, because there's so many homebrewers trying to go pro. But don't worry, it'll go back the other way. And for Can You Brew It, we are actually just having a little lull in the homebrewing side because we don't have a lot of homebrewers brewing for us at this moment.
Right.
So we had to do some kind of Can You Brew It reversal shows, which we're always heavily involved with these Pro-Am beers anyway, and so we just thought we'd bring them on the show. But I can tell you for a fact that we have a big list of beers that are being brewed right now, and we'll be getting back to those home brews probably next month, I think in February.
Yep.
Yeah.
So don't worry too much about it. I do appreciate the feedback, but the shows do kind of ebb and flow that way because we got to deal with Jameel's time constraints and everybody's homebrewing constraints, too. So, here's another one. I've only been a podcast listener for a few months now, but I wanted to thank you guys for the show. Even though I look like a crazy person when I'm walking my dog and laughing my head off, I appreciate everything you do. I would like to ask for maybe a little more brewing information amidst the hilarity.
What?
For instance, the interview with Jen Talley from Red Hook was entertaining as hell, but I also learned a lot of info because of the great questions from the brewcasters and the chat room. And the series that you used to do each show a while back on different parts of brewing, malts, hops, etc., was really informative as well. Obligatory suck a dick bro comment here. Cheers, Patrick from Florida. Yeah, Patrick, good point, and we try. One way that you can help that as listeners, if you want more homebrewing information, is for one, to send your show ideas over to scott@thebrewingnetwork.com. Also, if you're in the chat room, we always encourage you to ask more questions. And during the Jen Talley interview, we got just that. There really were a lot of questions coming through from the chat. And those are always a better show. I mean, we bring these people on here for you. So if you've got questions, send them in. Also, Moscow does a pretty good job of posting who our guest is the Wednesday before every show. So you get plenty of days to email in your questions for different brewers that are going to be.
And where would those go?
So those would go to feedback
at
thebrewingnetwork.com. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Send it all there.
Right.
So really, a lot of ways for you to get more homebrewing info out of the show. It's your show, so own it.
True.
Own it. Take it. Do it.
It's only as good as you want it to be, my friend.
All right, here's a question that came in from Jack. It looks like about our Whirlpool edition topic last week, Tasty.
I got a lot of feedback on that. People like that.
That was fun.
It was great. Yeah.
All right, it's kind of long-winded, so let me do this here. If the point of adding hops to a whirlpool and holding that whirlpool for an extended period of time is to increase hop flavor and aroma, then who cares about hop isomerization? Don't the flavor and aroma qualities from hops come from the essential oils of hops and not from isomerized alpha acids? What I think the biggest difference between commercial brewers and home brewers with Whirlpool hop additions is the quality of the hop used at that moment. Commercial brewers have better access to fresh hops than home brewers do.
Is that true?
That's not true.
That's not true.
Not
really.
necessarily.
You know, most homebrew shops get right from the source, just like the brewers do.
Yeah.
And when they come out of the warehouses, they're frozen. So I'd be willing to bet homebrew hops just pretty darn close to as good.
There is also, I think,
from a good shop.
I think that's what I was going to say, Fal. There is also, and JP could speak to this because he's worked in a good shop for so long, our great sponsor over at More Beer. You can go to morebeer.com and check them out. I do know that they bring in bulk, just like a pro brewer does, all these hops. But then they package them into smaller samples for us. And I know that they did a lot of R&D years ago to figure out a way to get them packaged properly and not oxidized and things like that. So their packaging process was a big part of getting us fresh hops. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're absolutely right. We went to Mylar bags. Actually, I think Mylar bags were the first bags that we were packaging hops in way back when, 15 years ago, and flushed with nitrogen. So there's hardly any degradation at all. You can keep them for just as long as you can keep pellets for. But that's true, and maybe the breweries might get first shot at the contract or first shot at the hops because they obviously buy more hops than the homebrew shop does.
Yeah.
But it's from the same warehouse. It's from the same lot. They don't take the first crop and pelletize all those and save those for the breweries.
Okay.
And then take the second crop and pelletize those, and those are for homebrew shops. It's all from the same warehouse. It all goes out the same. They're exactly the same.
Okay. So it's just treatment by the homebrew shop.
Plus, guys like Hop Union have been doing packaging of hops for the retail homebrew guys that they haven't done before, just starting this last year or two, and I've started seeing those come back from homebrew supply shops. So it's not as if the homebrew shop is repackaging anything or potentially exposing it to
some of them aren't
oxygen, right? So
right. That's something Hop Union has been trying to do for a few years.
That should be as equivalent as possible. I would think
so too. So
okay,
don't worry about that.
Well, this he went on to just say by the time homebrewers get hops, how many middlemen have those been sold through? How many times have they been repackaged, et cetera, et cetera. So we just kind of went through all that.
I've definitely seen some homebrew shops. I visit homebrew shops sometimes when I'm on the road. I've definitely seen shops have like Ziploc bags of hops.
Yeah.
That's not, if you see that, you probably don't want to buy hops there.
You can order from More Beer at morebeer.com.
That's true.
Let's see. He gives an example about superior hop flavor that commercial brewers are getting. He says, here's an example. Last year, Steve Dressler gave the recipe for Sierra Nevada Celebration. I followed it exactly. The beer I made was not hoppy enough as far as flavor and aroma. The biggest difference between Sierra Nevada Celebration and the beer I brewed was that Sierra Nevada Celebration is made with the freshest hops possible, hops that were harvested only weeks ago. The hops I used were probably a year or more old.
Did he read that off the bottle? That we use only the freshest hops possible.
The finest water. Right. Well, and I left out the part where he says, and they use the finest water, but I've had to pull it from my water table, which is mostly well water.
Right.
If you put that label on his homebrew and serve it to his friends, it would automatically taste even better.
There is a
not to defend Sierra, but the celebration is made with the new crop of dried whole hops.
Okay.
So it's only seasonal they can do that way because that's when the crop comes out of the warehouse.
Well, and whole hops, you would have to, but I think pellets, Hop Union has done tests, and I don't know how much it really is, but there's no degradation for like 5 years. So if you're using pellet hops, it's not going to matter.
That'd have been stored properly.
And I doubt if the whole hops
have been stored properly.
And the whole hops don't degrade either that much. I mean, it's just
probably
more of
not.
Something to say kind of thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think Nate hit on the head, too. If you put that on your homebrew bottle and said, this is with the freshest hops available, your homebrewer friends will go, wow, really?
This tastes really fresh.
You can watch retail guys like freshhops.com, and they have new crop available when it hits when it's basically first going to hit the shelves about October, November of that year. So you can try and get the freshest hops possible from the newest crop if you want to try and replicate that sort of thing. It is doable for homebrewers.
Another difference is the equipment. Sierra Nevada has probably some of the best equipment in the world, and as a homebrewer, you don't have access to that kind of equipment.
Yeah. And, there's the other part, speaking of like the best of, I would also venture to say that Sierra Nevada has some of the best brewers in the world.
Best brewers,
and
best lab.
And I certainly don't mean to shit on homebrewers either, but think about it. There's a difference between spending years at Sierra Nevada as a professional brewer like Steve Dressler, and, homebrewing for a long time.
Right.
And you're not spending as much time at the kettle as a professional is. So that's all. I just think that not only the equipment, but certain techniques that maybe don't come out in the interviews we do for Can You Brew It probably exist in the brew house that we don't necessarily do at home,
Right. Yeah, they have
lots of small things that add up to
transfer rates, all kinds of stuff.
Cleaning, different cleaning regimes, all kinds of different things that brewers are brewing anywhere from once a day to some people 8 times a day.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're a shift brewer, you've brewed thousands and thousands of times, and if you're a home brewer, you've brewed dozens of times.
Right.
And there's just an experience difference.
Sure.
Not to denigrate homebrewing because I'm a home brewer and I love doing it, but it's just not the same.
And it's just a practice thing.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. The amount of time you spend brewing is going to make a difference.
Also, as a home brewer, you don't have to worry about costs. If you want to use really super expensive hops or malt or yeast or age it for years or months, you can do all those things. But as a professional brewer, you have to always keep in mind cost constraints.
Yeah.
So in some ways, home brewers have an advantage. They can make better beer.
Yeah.
A good home brewer.
Yeah. Ingredients aren't a limitation. If we had paid 10% extra for the quality ingredient, that would be maybe your whole gross profit if you did that.
All right. I'm going to have to interrupt our feedback right now. Because I just had a couple more things that I would like to get to. But we've got one of our AHA interviews on the line that I wanted to get to, so that they're not waiting for too long. But Terry Parker is on the line with us, one of the people running for the AHA Governing Committee. Are you with us, Terry?
I'm here.
Hey, Terry. Thanks for being with us, man.
Yeah.
You watching the football game?
Yes, I am.
We're interrupting your quality time is what's happening.
Is it halftime?
Yeah, how's it going there, by the way?
Right. Well, New York's winning, but I'm an hour ahead of you guys, so but I won't give away any secrets.
Okay.
So maybe by the time we catch up, the Niners will win.
Right. It could be a while.
They're not up by much.
Now, Terry, is this your first time running for the AHA Governing Committee?
Yes, it is.
It is, okay.
Yes.
And what made you want to do it?
What made me want to do it?
That's horny.
I recently retired from teaching. I've been brewing for about 15 years, and longer than that, but this stint is 15 years. And all of a sudden, I've got time. And I have my wife teases me about being a professional board director. all of a sudden, I'm on all these boards that I never had time for before.
Right. Well, that kind of makes sense, I guess, if you retire and then you get to pick up on all the hobbies you've been wanting to do more of, right?
Exactly.
Or the hotties.
Okay. All right. And so what do you think that you'll be able to do on the governing committee? Why be involved in this committee in particular?
Well, this committee, it's important to me because of all the years I've spent brewing, and I've got some experience. I retired from the hospitality industry, and I also retired from teaching. So, I think I've got a lot to offer as far as the hospitality industry and brewing goes.
Sure. Well, that's a big part of it, too, especially when we start talking about the AHA conference and things like that, which, of course, comes up on the committee quite often.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What did you teach?
I was a special ed teacher.
Okay. Oh, so you'd be great in this room.
Yeah, you can relate, for sure.
Yeah, but halfway through the show, we need special ed.
Yeah. And you say you've been brewing for 15 years. How'd you get into home brewing?
Well, to make a long story short, my dad got me into home brewing back in the 60s, believe it or not.
Okay.
He was a Navy person, and he was involved in Operation Deep Freeze. I don't know if you ever read anything about that or not, but it had to do with the North and South Pole. And they were on icebreakers for months and months at a time.
Huh.
And he used to brew.
Got it.
On the ship?
Illegally,
on the ship.
So
international
brewing a lot of lagers then, some cold fermentation, eh?
Exactly.
Right.
And I think I brewed my first beer with him probably 65.
What? Do you remember what your first beer was?
Well, it was a very light beer. There wasn't a lot of adjuncts available in those days, so and very little malted flavors available.
And what about yeast? Was it just like bread yeast back then, or what?
I believe it was.
Okay.
I believe it was.
That's pretty interesting.
Anyway, that's kind of how I got into it, and of course then. Vietnam came along. I didn't do anything for years and years, and
that'll happen.
Picked it up again about the 70s, and dropped it again, and then picked it up again in the early 90s when it really became popular.
Yeah, it's like an STD; it just won't go away.
Exactly.
Well, you got the bug early. That's what happened.
Speaking of
Stuck
that,
with it forever.
Yeah.
No one says they have the brewing STD, do they?
No.
It's always the brewing bug.
All right, well, I love it. I'm glad that you're back in it for 15 years now. And have you been to some of the homebrewers conferences?
Oh, sure, yeah.
You have, okay.
I've been around a while, so.
All right, very good. Well, Terry Parker is the candidate, and you'll be able to find him over on homebrewersassociation.org as soon as they put up the candidate profiles, and you'll be able to vote for him. And you're signing up for a 3-year term with us, bunch of yahoos.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Making sure you're ready.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's fun. It's a good group of guys, and you just get to...
I want to say hi to all my brewing buddies up there in the Bay Area.
What's up?
And where are you guys?
We're in the Bay Area. We're in the East Bay in Pacheco.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a Concord and Antioch kid.
Yeah!
So.
Right in the neighborhood.
Now we're talking, Terry.
Local boy does good.
I knew I sensed some white trash in Terry. Yeah, that's our hood right here. So,
all righty.
All right, Terry. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll keep directing people over to the webpage when your statement goes up, and to tell people to vote for you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Terry. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
All right. There you go. That's Terry Parker. And once again, you can go to homebrewersassociation.org. And I don't think that the candidate profiles are up just yet. I was looking today, and at least I didn't see them. But we'll keep you notified. Write down Terry's name, and you could vote for him if you like him.
Straight from the Yock, bro.
Man, I would like to listen to his old man talk about brewing beer on that icebreaker. That would be some good stories.
That's probably like prison hooch or something.
Yeah,
you know what
that's what I didn't want to disrespect his old man, but that's what I was thinking. Like, yeah,
we're probably stole some sugar from the kitchen, and
right.
But they probably had the best brewing water available.
Yeah, it's glacier water.
Yeah.
Our neighbor grew up in a military family, and his dad made beer and kept the bottles in the shower. So if anybody ever had to take a shower, they had to pull all the beer out first.
Right.
One day his mom was on the shitter, and these bottles started exploding while she was in there.
Scared the shit out of her.
Yeah, she
took a glass shower.
She couldn't leave.
It's like an enema.
Wow.
She could not leave the bathroom. She was too scared.
Right.
She had to crawl out the window.
Oh my God.
Crawl out the window.
Her pants around her ankles.
Oh, that's a good home brewing story there. Right? I like that.
Brewing something.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Should you give the keynote next year?
So when I offer homebrew to our neighbor, he gets scared a little bit. He might take a glass shower or
He
something.
has this fear in his eyes.
That's funny. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I like hearing stories about old guys brewing like back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when it, you know...
I think there was a lot of military guys brewing in the 60s
yeah.
and 70s, like with whatever they get their hands on. That was the only way they'd get a beer.
And those guys were just making the strongest stuff that they could make.
Yeah, just dumping
you know?
sugar in there and like baker's yeast and whatever else, you know.
My kind of dudes. That's what I would be doing. It's pretty much what I do now. Actually, who am I kidding?
It's a fancier version that we do now, yeah.
I just have a really fancy brew system that I do it on.
Yeah.
Same thing. All right, I think we have Dave Dixon on the line, our second AHA candidate tonight. There's going to be 7 of these folks that we'll do over the course of the next few weeks. Dave Dixon, are you with us?
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing all right. Thanks for being on the show.
No problem.
How long you been homebrewing, Dave?
I've been homebrewing, over 18 years now.
Wow. What got you into it?
Well, it's kind of a long story. I was on a flight back from the Southern California, and I was on a flight, and there was a pilot that was coming back from vacation sitting next to me, and he had a really big 22-ounce with no label on it. And I said, "What's that?" And he says, "I make my own beer." And he says, "After we get up, I have the flight attendants pour us some." And I was like, wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So when I got home, it was close to Christmas. My mom and dad, Dave and Mary Dixon, were asking me, "Well, what do you want for Christmas?" And I said, "How about a homebrewing kit?" Well,
Wait. So the guy's beer was real good? Or he just got you into it?
It was great.
Okay.
And I was a natural light drinker at the time. Yes, I admit that.
Oh, so of course it was great.
But yeah, my mom and dad wanted to give me something for Christmas, and I said, "How about a homebrew kit?" So all they could find up here in northern Kentucky was a Mr. Beer kit, and I lived in Dallas, Texas at the time, or Fort Worth. And they sent me the money to get it, and I went over to a place called Foreman's and bought my first homebrew kit.
Nice. Attaboy. And then the rest is history, huh? You've been brewing ever since?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I kind of got a little OCD after that. My first beer is probably the worst beer I ever made, but I still have a bottle left of it.
Oh, is that right? Really? You know what? I think I got a bottle of my first beer somewhere in this house.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I have my first 12 bottles.
Oh, is that...
No
way. You saved all 12 of them?
Sure, why not? It was cool at the time. And then, at the 13th one, I'm like, fuck this. Who's going to... What am I doing?
Right.
I'm an idiot. But I thought at one point I'm going to go back and drink it all, and then I actually learned that that's not really good.
Right.
But, I have 2 6-packs.
My first beer sucked so bad, I'm glad I did not save a bottle. It would not have improved with age.
I saved it if it was crap or not, man. Like, here it is.
What kind of beer was it? Was it, like, built to age?
No. Mine was it was like a British ale of some sort, and we thought it was the best beer. I brewed it right around Christmas, got it ready for the Super Bowl. My buddies were over, and we drank it, and we thought it was the best beer ever made. And I'd probably pour it out right now.
Right. It's amazing how things change.
Yeah,
the palate changes.
In perspective, it's not good, but at the time, at that moment, it's the best thing in the world.
Because it's so drinkable. I mean, am I getting high? I made this? This is cool.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Forget about that DMS. You don't even know what that is.
Now, Dave, what makes you want to be a part of the AHA governing committee?
Well, this is my second. I was on the governing committee started in 2003, and I was on the committee for 3 years.
Okay.
And so I really enjoyed the time. That was back when the grassroots movement was starting, and I was involved with that, working with Paul Gotza and Gary Glass and all those great folks and all the great members we had on the board at the time. But one of our homebrew club members here at Cincinnati Malt Infusers, named Rick Frankhauser, we were at a homebrew club meeting. He says, "I want to nominate you for the board of governance." And I said, "Really?" And he says, "Yeah." He says, "You have a lot of passion. You brew a lot. You win a lot. You're involved with several competitions. Been involved with several big competitions, and I think you would be good." And I said, "Well, first of all, I was very flattered." And I thought about it, and I said, "Yeah," because I really missed being on the board and working with all the folks and working at the national level. I had a really good time the first time I did it.
Okay. Well, that's the kind of experience that goes a long way, I think, on the governing committee, especially with competitions and things like that. Because I'll tell you, what we do, there's like a monthly meeting on the phone and then the yearly meeting. And a lot of what we talk about is how to make these things better. Problems arise like with the number of entries allowed for the national competition and where the locations are. And we kind of help discuss all that. So if you've got some experience, then that's pretty good stuff, man.
Well, I was the director at the Dallas conference in 2002, and then then the next year is when I got on the board. And I've been the director of the Bluebonnet Brew-Off, which is the largest single-site homebrew competition.
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, and of course, my wife and I, that's where we met, actually planning the Bluebonnet. My wife, Josanna. And
well, now there's some beer geek match made in heaven. Meet your wife at a beer competition.
You're lucky there at the conference, you're saying? What are you saying?
At the Bluebonnet Brew-Off, yeah, I met her when we were both on the committee, and we were planning it, because she's a home brewer, too. She started brewing beer to meet men, so.
Wow.
Is that really?
You will meet men that way.
I guess it worked.
Yeah.
But we go back every year, because they're great folks down there, and we really, really, we go back and we help work Friday night. And matter of fact, this year we're doing a pub crawl, and calling it Dave's Dreaded Magical Mystery Pub Crawl, and they said, we can't guarantee you leave the lot, but we don't know where Dave's going to take you. So it's going to be a fun time.
Nice. I'm still kind of hung up on that somebody actually met their wife. Are you sure your wife's not a dude?
I actually proposed to her at the Dixie Cup.
Okay.
And then we got married at the Bluebonnet. We actually, we ended up getting married in a church later on, but we went to the Justice of the Peace and got married for benefits purposes.
You'll notice he didn't really answer the question.
That's very cool. Very cool.
No, he's not a dude. I guarantee you that.
Okay. All right.
No, my brother's a dude, but hey.
Right. All right. Well, very cool. It sounds like you're pretty well qualified to be on the committee, and it definitely sounds like you got a passion for home brewing. So those are two good requirements, man.
Well, it's something that I love talking to people about homebrew. I love to take somebody that is like a light beer drinker and give them like a Southern brown. I mean, I had a really good friend of mine down in Texas that rolled up to our house. We were doing some with this yard work, and he rolled up and he goes, "What y'all doing? I really like what you're doing with your front yard." His name was Stacy Sanford. And I said, "Well, come on in. Let me give you a really good beer." And I gave him a homebrew. Well, that was, after that, it was all over. Stacy started brewing with me. Some of my best times I remember brewing was with Stacy down there in Texas. We had the best time. So it was that's what I love about homebrewing. You make a connection with somebody.
Yeah.
You make lifelong friends, and what you end up making is much better than what you can buy.
I agree with you on all of those points, Dave. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Okay, Dave Dixon, everybody. And just like with Terry, you can go to homebrewersassociation.org, and as soon as they put up their profiles, you'll be able to read about them and some of the things we've talked about there, and vote for Dave if you want to. So, Dave, thanks a lot.
Can I say one other thing? I'd like to. I have my son-in-law who actually just got into homebrewing. His name's Brad Bell. Got into homebrewing 2 years ago. Everybody be thinking about him and drink a beer and toast to him tonight. He's over in Afghanistan defending our country. So please think about him and raise a glass for him.
What's his name?
His name is Brad Bell. Today's his birthday. So raise a glass to Brad, please.
We will do that, Brad. Cheers, brother. Be safe over there.
All right. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Dave. Take care. Dave. All right, Dave Dixon and Terry Parker, two of your AHA candidates. There will be 7 of them, and we'll be going through that. I think the elections actually happen in end of February. Might even be March.
I think it's later than that, yeah.
It's later than that even. So you got some time. So we got some time still to go through these guys.
Yeah, I think it's April 1, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Who says April 1?
Fucking that idiot over there who
Right.
won't say 2012.
What? I pronounce it correctly.
April 1.
2000. Who said 1903?
Lilu
No
Dallas Multipass, April 1.
Yes, it's that.
49ers scored, by the way. Touchdown.
Okay. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break.
Finish feedback.
We'll finish feedback when we come back. We'll talk to Fal Allen from Anderson Valley Brewing Company and a lot more. 888-401-BEER. Here's music from Forest Day, headlining Winterfest next weekend.
Oversensitive, everything remains relative. Conservative relationships acting out like a sedative. Over and under the influence of barbiturates. Deep dead, damn, I feel sorry for college graduates. It blows my mind every single time. my mind. Everybody's fucking with 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 my time. Everybody's fucking with my time. Why waste time making my life rhyme? You're too slow. I'm a hustler, you know. While you sweat for someone else's bread, I'll make my bed. I'll get my own instead. No control over anything, I don't really care. I'm just watching it unfold with a cold stare. No control over anything, I don't really care. I'm just watching it unfold. I'm 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 watching it unfold. Everybody's fucking with my mind. 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 No control over anything, I don't really care. I'm just watching it unfold with a cold stare. No control over anything, I don't really care. I'm just watching it unfold. No control over anything, I don't really care. I'm just watching it unfold with a cold stare. No control over anything, I don't really care. I'm just watching it unfold.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Nico, listen, our lawyers said that we had to do this for 1 hour, and after this, we don't have to talk to each other for 3 more months, I think, to the next meeting.
Kids, come on, let's get out of here.
I'm supposed to have more lines. I'm the professional. Hey, it's Sully.
And I'm Nico.
And we opened the 21st Amendment 9 years ago at 563 2nd Street in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park, to make great beer and have a great time doing it.
That's right, because to us, the 21st Amendment is more than just the right to make beer. It's the right to experiment, to be innovative, and just do things differently. And so now, we're putting our craft beer in cans.
That's right, cans. You can find our world-famous Hell or High Watermelon Wheat Beer and Brew Free or Die IPA throughout California and Alaska.
And now it's also available on draft at select accounts in the Bay Area.
So next time you're at your local neighborhood pub or good beer store, be sure to ask for 21st Amendment in cans.
Because everyone likes it in the can.
Tasty crack cans.
Tasty crack can.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. The session. Brewing up our next batch of radio gold. Right now.
Welcome back to the program. At the break, you heard Forrest Day. He's headlining Winter Brews Festival, which is next Saturday, January 28th. You can go to winterbrewsfestival.eventbrite.com and get your tickets right now. And listen, if you're not coming for the beer, come for the bands because Forrest badass. I'll be playing you some more music from him as the show goes on, too, so you can hear it.
And come for the food.
And come for the food.
There's going to be 3 very good vendors there. It's going to be awesome.
Emergency Barbecue's back. I know that.
Yes, sir.
They come to all of our festivals, and everyone loves it. You can get a good tri-tip sandwich out of them and all kinds of good stuff.
Emergency Barbecue. We got the hot dog cart. Best in Show hot dogs.
Oh, yeah?
That's what it's called. He has awesome pulled pork sandwiches and great hot dogs. And, of course, Naked Teresa with chorizo burritos and tacos. And
Naked Teresa?
Yes.
I love
that's
that
the
girl.
second part.
Yeah, that's after.
That's the after party.
It's the trailer. All right. Thanks to Terry Parker and Dave Dixon, your AHA candidates. You can go to homebrewersassociation.org and vote for them as soon as they get that page up there for the AHA Governing Committee, which is a fine body of people over there in the AHA Governing Committee. All right, we got Fal Allen in the studio from Anderson Valley Brewing Company. And you might remember, now I thought we had Fal on like a couple of months ago. It seems like it really
seems like yesterday.
Moscow is the only one who pays any attention in this room, and he informed me that it has been a year since we talked to you on the session.
More. We're all a year older.
But after that program, right? After that program, we all kind of agreed that it was so much fun to interview Fal. It just was annoying with the dropouts and things like that. They really wanted to have him back in the studio. So, was it like a 3-hour drive down here for you? You made it tonight?
Yeah, about 3 hours, 2.5.
Okay.
If it hadn't been raining, I could have done it in like an hour and a half.
Oh, is that right? Oh, that's not bad.
It's good that you did it, though, since they don't have real phones in Boonville.
Yeah, not really, no. No, I don't even live in Boonville, you know.
Oh, you don't?
They have phones in Boonville, but I live down in Navarro, population 67, and they have nothing.
Yeah.
We're lucky to have electricity down there.
They have a runner. The guy runs to the phone in Boonville from Navarro to make a phone call for you. So you were nice enough to come down to the studio. That way we can get some, uninterfered brewing information out of Fal. 888-401-BEER is the number if you've got questions for him, or you can hit the Chat Now button on our Brewing Network homepage, and you can do it there. You can also see Fal on the webcam at justin.tv/Brewing Network, and check it out there.
Yep. Yeah. Or if it's too much work, link right off our homepage.
There you go. So, we'll go over just a quick history, and we did this a lot with you last time, Fal. But you've really been not only in the pro brewing world, but in the home brewing world for a long time. You just were telling me at the break you started homebrewing in the 80s, right?
Yeah, 85, I think.
What got you started into homebrewing?
Same story. For Christmas, I got a homebrew kit.
Okay.
My dad sent me, I think it was $100, and you could buy a homebrew kit back then for about $80. So I spent $80 on homebrew kit and $20 on beer, and started brewing.
Okay, and just went for, and then you've been hooked ever since.
Yeah, my first beer, Nate was saying his wasn't good. My first beer was awesome. My second beer and third beer and fourth beer sucked.
That was my experience.
First beer was awesome.
Yeah. I had the same thing. My first beer was actually pretty good, but after that they were shit.
Terrible. Undrinkable almost.
Right. In fact, I'm not sure I've made a good one since then.
I got better as time went on.
You persisted despite the odds.
Yeah, because the first one was so good, I kept thinking, well, if I did it once, I can do it again,
this
right?
Is easier.
Yeah. Come on.
I got
you
hooked.
Yeah, I started with something simple, though. Stout. A lot of dark malt flavor to cover up all our problems that we had. I brewed with a friend of mine, a roommate, and we both got hooked for a long time. Eventually, he got a real job, married and kids and all that, and
you're still a deadbeat brewer. Well, how long did it take you before you got into pro brewing? When did you start?
I started brewing at Pike Place Brewing in '88, so about 3 years.
Is that Seattle?
Yeah, up in Seattle.
It must have been the real early days of this.
Actually, I started Red Hook before that. I started Red Hook in '88, and I started at Pike Place in '90.
Okay.
Yeah, it was way back.
Yeah, it really
Red Hook was still located in that transmission garage where they started, and it was just a dumpy little brewery.
Okay.
And,
tranny brewery.
Yeah.
Right.
And their beers were all very, I believe Michael Jackson called them Belgian-y.
Oh, right.
Belgian-y.
Yeah.
Does that mean that they were infected?
Hey.
There's unexplainable phenol.
Right.
Yeah.
Polite.
Well, we just had Jen Talley on last week,
yeah,
who's now gone full circle. She's over at Red Hook.
She's at Red Hook now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Jen. She's great.
Yeah, she just went over there. She was a very cool interview and was very forthcoming about the Red Hook beers because we all have kind of a place in our beer history with Red Hook. I think all craft beer drinkers do.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Where it was a go-to beer for a little while, even though we all remember it now as a diacetyl-filled beer. But back then, I didn't know that. I thought it was a unique, buttery character that I loved.
Well, it was.
Oh, I loved it too.
It was it is very unique, and you loved it.
And I did love it.
There you go.
Well, I hate to be so outspoken here, but in Fal's absence in Anderson Valley, I noticed think the beers weren't quite the same as when he was there.
Well, Tasty, that's very nice of you to say.
Well,
I'm not sure.
He's saying they're worse now.
Yeah. They're not the same. They're different.
They're better. I mean, I can see the difference, definitely.
This saison is incredible.
Yeah, it's
Which one you just poured?
We're drinking Mokeef Saison right now.
Yeah,
right?
that was a seasonal we did. We just finished up that one, and the next Ballhorn, and I think a couple cans of our Lieberzies Porter, an oatmeal porter. So, we have this Ballhorn program where we try and new ownership was very much behind this. In fact, it was completely his idea, although the brewers were all very enthusiastic, that we want to every 3 or 4 months bring out something new, try something different. And so we've been making these beers, some of them a little more traditional like the Saison, and some of them a little more, unusual like a oatmeal porter. We also did a pale ale, kind of a session IPA with lemongrass called Wee Geach.
Interesting.
Yeah, we're going to bring that one back because all the brewers loved it. I'm not sure everybody out in the world loved it, but we liked it, so it's coming back.
There you go. And all these names come from this Boonville speak. What's it called?
Bootling. Yeah.
Ballhornen.
Anderson Valley is very isolated valley. Even today, it's pretty isolated.
Much more Saison.
And it used to be so isolated, they developed their own language called Bootling. And it's I can say whatever I want right here.
Say whatever you want.
Yeah. So it's a language about fucking mostly.
You can't say that.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Everything but
Or that.
Oh, shit.
Right.
No. Well, it was a language where the people that were there were farmers and loggers and sheep herders, and they weren't really. There was a tight community, and they didn't really like outsiders very much. They called them brightlighters, and so the language was developed mostly to talk about outsiders without them knowing. So it's such a unique language, and it's actually a real Creole language. It's the same as Pidgin English or.
Pig Latin.
Well, no.
Ebonics.
You're saying it has structure. It does. It's a random...
linguists actually refer to this, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's so unique, they used it in World War I as a code language, just like they used Navajo in World War II.
Is that right?
Yeah, because if you're not from the valley, you just can't understand mostly what people are saying. And there's some English words in there, but, if somebody says, I'm going to pike down to the Dusties, you're like,
huh? I don't know what that means.
I'm going to get naked.
Slang about fucking is always good code language.
Well, there are a few other things besides fucking. There are about 20 words for fucking and a whole lot for masturbating, too.
Well, it is an isolated town.
Yeah, it's an isolated town.
When you're a sheep herder, what are you going to do?
Well, there's the other option, but there's no words for that.
Right. That just was not spoken of.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't talk about that.
Those are
I was helping that sheep over.
What is piking down to the Dusty?
That means you're dying. You're going to pass away. He piked off to the Dusties is literally a pike is to go or walk or travel, and the Dusties is the graveyard. So piking off to the Dusties is you're dying.
It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Point being, it was evolved enough where you could have a code language based off.
Yeah,
it, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I want to make Tasty a T-shirt that says
"Piking off to the Dusties."
If you go on YouTube, there's some really great bootling things. One of them is from some show they did in the '60s. And we've had the same deputy sheriff there since then. And there's
Really?
He's
Is he in his 90s
Oh,
now?
that's interesting.
No, he's probably in his 60s now. He is one tough dude. I have a Keith story. Hopefully Keith won't be listening.
Nobody listens.
Yeah.
He's retiring soon. But Keith is notoriously badass. And when I first moved there, we had a guy camping on the front of our property, got 28 acres. And the old owner, Ken, came up to me one day and he said, remember all those jobs that I didn't want to do that you're going to have to do? I was like, yeah. He said, you got to go remove Shitter Joe. And we called him Shitter Joe because he lived on the front of our property and was always taking a shit up there. And wow. So I called the deputy sheriff, Keith, and I said, hey, Keith, this is Val from the brewery. He's like, oh, yeah. I said, so you know the guy Joe? He's like, yeah, we're familiar with Joe. He's got a record. I was like, oh, great. So you can have him removed from our property, right? He's like, I don't know. Why don't you just do what I do? And there was a pause, and I said, what would you do, Keith?
Yeah.
He said, well, you get a couple guys. You get Joe. You put him in a car. You drive him halfway to Ukiah, which is about 30 miles away, and you put him out of the car. And you say, Joe, that way's Ukiah, that way's Boonville. If you come back to Boonville, I'm going to kick your ass. And if he gives any shit about it, just kick his ass right there.
Right.
And I was like, okay, thanks, Keith. And I hung up thinking, yeah, I'm a bright lighter. I'm new to the valley. It's a joke, right? It's joking. So I run into Keith a couple weeks later, and I say, come on, Keith, come on, help me out with Joe. All you got to do is drive him to Ukiah, and he's like, I'm serious here. You don't get it. If I pick Joe up, nobody wins here. I'm out of the valley for the whole day.
Right.
Nobody's here to take care of business. Joe gets a record. He goes to jail. I got to fill out paperwork. I don't like paperwork. Just put him in the car, drive him halfway over there.
That's it.
Yeah. But search him first, because if he's behind you, you don't want a shank in the neck or something, or a turd in the neck, or whatever he has.
Well, our solution.
Joe.
Yeah, the solution to Shitter Joe, the old boss decided the solution would be to hire him.
Wow. To do what?
I don't know. We then had to fire him, and then we hired him, and then we fired him. And on the third go around after Ken hired him for the third time, I was like, dude, if you hire him back, I will not fire him again. I'd done it 3 times.
Yeah.
But he hired him anyway.
He sounds like a brewer. Just made him a brewer.
Yeah,
Where you guys run around at different breweries.
Shitter Joe, the brewer.
Like, come and go and blah.
Like, Joe, don't take a dump in the mash tun. Everything else?
We kept him mostly outside in, groundskeeping. He's an outdoors guy.
He sounds like an outdoors guy. Look, I need to take a shit. There's a toilet right there. I don't know what that is.
So now this saison that we're drinking here.
Okay, back to beer.
Out of a can.
Yes, yeah.
You guys are doing a lot of this now.
A lot of canning. We were really surprised when the new owner took over. Trey White took over about 2 years ago now.
Sounds like
we had a canning line, and it hadn't been used a whole lot, and we didn't use it for the first few months that he was there. So we all were kind of skeptical, craft beer in a can, and we had it, so we did it. We started off with a Boont, put it in the can. We tried out the pale ale. Didn't do as well commercially as the Boont. The Boont kind of took off. So we put the IPA in, and the IPA has been on fire.
Really?
Nice.
So we did the summer and winter solstice both in cans, and now we do the stout in cans. We're doing that for a St. Patrick's Day kind of period. It's got a great new green can. Do we get any of those out? I think I brought some. I brought a couple cans. And now we also do all our not the seasonal, but when we have to do sales samples, we put those in cans.
Wow.
Because it's so much easier to do and so much better for the beer. No light gets in a can.
Yeah.
Less oxygen ends up in the can. They're lighter, so they're cheaper for the cans to come to us. They're lighter, so they're cheaper to ship away, so we can actually trim the price down a little bit.
Wow.
Because shipping is less. There's no packaging, no secondary packaging. There's no 6-pack. There's no mother carton. There's no cap. There's no label. They're self-contained. They're also the most recycled beverage container in the world.
Yeah.
So they're environmentally cool. They're good for the environment. They're good for the beer, and they're good for the consumer because the price is lower. So we love them.
Yeah.
If the beer wasn't better, we would have not used it.
Right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And all of those advantages you talk about are really things that Big Beer has known for years. I mean, they didn't accidentally choose the can as their package. So it does make a lot of sense. Now, of the beers that you mentioned, you said that the pale ale didn't do so hot in sales-wise in the can. And I wonder if it's like some of your cans have bright colors, like either your purple IPA. I know the Boont is orange.
Yep.
Or was it the beer just didn't taste as good in the can? What do you?
I think it tastes as good or better in the can.
Okay.
I think the problem was the sales were so slow for the pale ale all around, even in bottles. We don't do a whole lot of it. I think it's a great beer, but because Sierra Nevada is known for the pale ale, and someone says pale ale, you say Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
So, in general, that beer has a little trouble that way. I think it's a great beer. It doesn't sell real well in general for us. Not a bad seller, but not a great seller. And then when we put it in the can, it just didn't take off. Like, the IPA just exploded.
Okay.
So, I think it's a couple different things. But
sure.
We still do it in the can once in a while.
All right. So not only are you, changing your existing beers, I know, but you're putting out a lot of new beers since you've come on, or since the new owners, I should say, too.
Yeah, we are. And, we're not changing the old beers in any substantial way. It's kind of a misnomer that a lot of people think that, so-and-so bought the brewery and changed the recipe, or they got a new brewer and he changed all the recipes. That may, in fact, happen. I can't speak to other people's breweries. But recipes change every year because they're made with agricultural products. The malt changes, so you may have to change the malt you're using.
Right.
If there's more or less protein, or if there's more or less extract from that malt. The hops change every year, so you have to use more or less of them, or sometimes a different variety that will substitute for that. So the recipes are always in flux. We try and keep the flavor profile as consistent as we can, but on top of that, with these changing recipes, what we try and do is always make the beer better. So, yeah, it's always changing, but it should always be changing for the better.
Sure.
A few years ago, we didn't have a yeast brink. We just pitched cone to cone, from the bottom of one fermenter cone to the, bottom of the next one to get it started. We don't do that anymore because we found that if we bought another tank and harvested the yeast every Monday and pitched it out all week long, we had more consistent beer. Beer was better, it was more consistent, flavors were more consistent and nicer. So there's a change, but it's a change for the better. So we're always working to figure out how to change the beer, how to make it a little better, how we can tweak it to improve it, give it better shelf life maybe. We're converting our lauter tun to a mash tun, and we hope that that'll reduce a lot of the hot side aeration, give our beer a little more product stability and shelf life.
Okay.
So we're always working on changes.
Yeah. Just to get into the hot side aeration for a minute, if we can, we had Charlie Bamforth on the show to talk about that, who, of course, says that it exists, that it is a thing that happens, but his opinion, his overall, if I could summarize it, was that it's really the last thing a brewery should worry about in terms of packaging. Get everything else right, because that's the thing that's going to affect it the least in terms of shelf life. What do you think of that?
I think he's absolutely correct. If you are Budweiser or Miller Coors SAB, and you have an awesome packaging line that's doing hundreds or thousands of cans or bottles a minute, and your O2 levels are so low they're hardly measurable, yeah, fine, yeah, then you should worry about your hot side aeration because that's going to make your beer a little more stable. And beer that light needs to be more stable. But when you're making craft beer, it's usually bigger, more colored beer, and the color components are oxygen receivers and help with stability. On top of that, most of us, Anderson Valley included, don't have the best packaging equipment in the world.
Yeah.
So, I'm much more concerned about how I'm going to reduce the amount of air in our package to get our beer fresher than I am about hot side aeration, because we're talking, a difference by thousands probably. Literally. Tiny percentage runs over from your brew house to the packaged beer. But in your packaged beer, with the fillers that most of us use, you can oxidize your beer quite easily.
Yeah.
To major,
And as beer fans, we've all had those beers come off of a commercial line. We've tasted them. Yeah. Not yours in particular, but
well,
but we all have, and it's only those of us who at least can respect the process a little more. In other words, we spend every week talking about it, that give you guys the leeway. We go, well, listen, I know this beer was good a month ago, but the new guy might not give you any of that leeway, right? He may never drink your beer again.
Yeah, that's true, and that's really sad. And it's just the nature of the beast. Even if you take a Budweiser, and I go back to them because they're probably the most consistent, brewery on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
They make their, and SAB Miller Coors also, they make great beer. And when I say great, I'm talking about technically great.
They're meeting their goals. Yeah.
Yeah, they're absolutely meeting their goals. So these guys are kind of the benchmark if you're talking about that kind of thing. And, you look at them and their beer's not always perfect either. They have a very aggressive buyback program, which I think is awesome. So the guys, their reps go out in the market, they see an old beer, they literally buy it right out of the shelf and take it with them and get reimbursed. Craft brewers can't afford to do that. We can't afford the best equipment to bottle it or can it. We can't afford a buyback program, and we don't have the same control over our distributors. So, we send our beer out to, I don't know, pick a state. And I'm not going to pick on any states, but let's say Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not? And it's nice cold there most of the year. But, you put your beer on a truck, and hopefully that truck's refrigerated, and it gets out to the distributor. And because it's cold in Minnesota, maybe they don't refrigerate their warehouse during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And if it gets there in May and it gets sold in September, that it's been 3 or 4 months in really hot conditions.
Yeah.
That beer's not going to be that great. I don't care if it's Budweiser or Anderson Valley or whoever, so... We don't have control to force our distributor to take better care of our beer sometimes. We try, no doubt.
He can ask.
Yeah, we ask, or we can insist that they have climate-controlled or, coolers. But a lot of them will tell you, oh, yeah, I will do that. And then you go to visit the distributorship. And,
right.
Yeah, you're like, hey, why are our kegs out there? And those are dated from 4 months ago.
Well, the roof is the only place that we had space. Yeah. So,
and the product rotation. There's a lot of things that go into it that I think a lot of consumers, when they have a bad beer or a bad whatever, they don't take into account, and
well, it's easier to blame you.
Yeah, I know. As well they should.
Yeah.
But that happens to any product, and it's too bad that it does. And I wish everybody could have fresh beer.
Yeah.
Well, I sense your frustration. I mean, it's got to be really annoying to make a really good product, send it out, and then have it fail at the last segment of the distribution.
Yeah, and we're pretty good about people send us a lot of feedback, write us, call us, send us emails. And we're pretty good about responding to every one of them and addressing them if we can. And we have a very serious lab program and a serious library of beers. Our lab guy is awesome, Andy Hooper. He's just a great guy. He's really on top of the ball. And whenever we get a complaint, Andy's able to go pick up a book, open it up, tell us all kinds of details about what happened to that beer. Oh, this is when it was kegged. Oh, we ran 12 ounce that day as well as kegging. These are the things. Here are the tests we did on this beer. Didn't show any problems going out. So it could be a bottle variation where one bottle didn't get clean or the cap didn't go on right or whatever. But he has meticulous notes, so we're able to get some pretty good idea of what happens to the beer out there.
So when a consumer raises a flag, you can actually use that information.
Yeah, and consumers have been awesome about sending us information. Our bottles and cans are code dated, and actually our cans aren't. Our bottles are code dated, and they'll read off the code and send it back and tell us where they got it. And the consumers have been really nice about that. So it's a two-way street, and we really appreciate.
And by really nice, you mean we love to bitch and tell you when the beer sucks.
we get our fair share of folks writing in saying it's good too.
Right. Okay. Now, speaking of giving you some feedback, this oatmeal stout's pretty rad.
Really good.
It is. That's the oatmeal stout that I built my oatmeal stout on.
Oh, is that right?
I
nice.
Friggin' love that oatmeal stout, and it's actually the first beer that I've ever gone after to try to make something similar to. I made a lower alcohol version.
Okay.
Because I'm a big pussy.
Yeah, you are.
What's that supposed to mean? But it's a fantastic beer, and it flabbergasts me. I can't figure it out. But I don't know. Anyway, that's like the first beer that I've ever built a recipe around.
I think it kind of introduced
beer.
the American craft beer drinker to what an oatmeal stout was when it kind of hit the market too. And still remains one of the classic styles for the BJCP guidelines and things like that. Right.
Right. And it's that, and it's Shakespeare stout.
Yes, exactly.
I love that was my first craft beer ever, and I loved it. And that beer and then this one are just I can't say anything about them.
What did you do to make it lower alcohol?
Oh God! Just drop the malt down, basically.
It's already
malt down.
So, Fal, this is the same yeast used in Boont Amber and the other beers at Anderson Valley, of course, right?
We run 2 full-time yeasts.
Okay.
Our ale yeast and our Belgian style yeast. We are adding more all the time. I think right now we're running 3 yeasts. We've found that our regular ale yeast that does the Boont Amber and some of the higher gravity beers. Doesn't like getting over 7% alcohol, and it gets all finicky. So we're doing some experiments with some of our higher alcohol, like the barley wine this year. Will be brewed with a different yeast, different English yeast, just to see what it's like. I don't think we'll ever do it for the Bunt Amber or the ESB or the Pale.
Why mess with the good thing? Right?
Yeah, and we like that yeast. It does a really good job. I think it makes really nice beer at that alcohol level. But it is a concern for some of our bigger beers that we do, the specialty stuff. So we'll experiment and see. You never know. Like I said, it's always changing.
I remember correctly from the Can You Brew It show, we did the Bunt Amber on there, of course. You talked about the origin of the yeast that you guys use for most of the beers in your beer program, and it was somewhat nebulous where it was really from, but it was kind of maybe closely related to WLPO2 or the Fuller's strain.
I deny any
1968, that kind of thing. So do you think it behaves a little bit similar to give the homebrewers a kind of a hint of what they might expect?
I don't.
No? It's totally different?
That's the story, that it came from Fuller's, but I don't buy it. I worked with a yeast up at Pike Place that they supposedly got from Fuller's too. And they're just two completely different yeasts. They taste similar, but their behavior is very different. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
Maybe not.
Isn't that to be expected though? Just as yeast mutates and evolves over time, it very well could have been a Fuller's yeast and mutated into something completely different.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And there's new studies in genetics that talk about even within individuals that the expression of your genes can be completely different as well.
English yeast strains in particular seem like they may be susceptible to that.
Yeah, and I think the original Fuller's was a triploid. There were actually 3 different variations on one very closely related yeast, and they intentionally kept that around for a long time. So at Pike Place, we just looped out one of those 3.
Right.
And I have no idea what they did at Anderson Valley. Those records are lost or burned or eaten.
Or all 3.
Or Joe did
Someone
something.
ate the ash.
Or Joe wiped his ass with him or
Joe
something.
the shitter has that. Yeah.
Shitter Joe.
I'd like to point out Joe doesn't work there anymore. Just say it.
We need nicknames like that.
Yeah, we do.
Instead of just like Tasty and JP and Moscow, we need like I don't know,
Nate the Pisser.
What do you think I'm doing under this desk?
So for this oatmeal stout, what's the fermentation temperature range on this? Because I pick up a really it's mild, but it's a really nice kind of a fruity character to it. Is this called stylistically? Is this a sweet stout?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
it doesn't have a lot of hops in there. Some, but not a lot, not a huge amount. It's pretty traditionally, British oatmeal stout. Gravity relatively low. The alcohol is 5 point. And the can probably says 5.8, 5.5. It's in, the high 5s.
5.8, yeah.
So, it's not incredibly strong. You were asking about the
fermentation
temperature. Yeah. It's about 68.
Okay.
We try and keep it in that area, 68, 69. And that's one of those things about the Pike Place yeast, at least in my day, didn't like to be that cold even. It liked 70 and up.
Wow.
And our yeast is perfectly fine, the Anderson Valley yeast, 68 and down, even down to 64 and 62 sometimes. It always surprises me. So that's one of the differences. But yeah, we keep it 68.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Even I've just listening to Jameel for so many years previously, not necessarily recently, but when I used to do all the Jameel shows and all that.
Listen to him recently.
Well, 68 degrees was like the very top end of anything. I'm afraid of it. I'm a 66 degrees for almost everything guy.
Exactly.
And it comes from listening to that I think that there were certain times where he wasn't against it. He just would say, look, even if you get up to 68, you are going to encourage these fruity flavors, which in this beer, I really enjoy it. That's what I meant. It's on the lower end of those esters to me.
Just a touch of that complexity is really nice. It lends to all that, the mouthfeel of the oats and the darkness of the malts and the roastiness that's there. And it's kind of fun to pitch low on those kind of yeasts and bring them up, too. I think you get a little bit of that over time, but not necessarily in an aggressive way at the beginning. If you pitch it like maybe 63 or 64 degrees Fahrenheit with this type of yeast and let it rise up to 68, but not maybe beyond that.
Got it.
That sort of thing. Do you think that would maybe work for an English strain like this, Fall? Or?
I would think so. But again, each strain is different. Again, the Pike Place yeast, 68, it hated it.
Right.
We'd be lucky if the fermentation finished. But other yeasts are different. When I was in Singapore, I was reading Phil Markowski's book, and Phil was like, just let it go. And I was like, really? So I brewed a Saison, And I just let it go. Of course, just letting it go in Singapore is different than just letting it go in Nebraska in the winter. It hit 92 probably Fahrenheit. And it tasted a lot like dirt for a long time.
Wow.
Eventually, not good. Eventually, those flavors worked themselves out, but it was pretty undrinkable for the first month or two.
Wow.
So, although I respect Phil an enormous amount and like him,
he never brewed in Singapore.
I definitely do not just let it go if your house is really hot or if your brewery is really hot. I think that yeast that I had used for that fermentation would have been fine at like 85 or 86. But I think once it got up above 88, it just went a little crazy.
That's hot.
Yeah, it's pretty warm.
So with the Saison that you brewed that we tasted earlier, did you let that get warmer than your other Belgian strains? Or about the same?
This particular one was brewed with several different yeast. We let each of them get warmer. I don't think we broke 76. I think we started at 70 and let it run up some. I don't think we ever got that high. I think 74 is where it topped out. And we intentionally, we kept it down a little bit because we didn't want it to be a little, crazy ester bomb. And, I think this beer is quite subtle and nice. It's not over the top. And that's kind of what we were aiming for. So we didn't let it go crazy.
You added spices to it as well. You didn't want the esters to overwhelm those as well, right?
Yeah, it's lightly spiced. We used star anise, coriander, and ginger.
Is that common for an oatmeal stout? Is it spices are common?
No, the
Saison. Yeah.
God, Scott, why don't you read a book or something?
No, it is. It can be common, especially for American interpretation of Saison, to have a bit of spices added to it, for sure, though, Scott.
Yeah.
Although a ginger and oatmeal stout might not be that bad.
Yeah, ginger actually works really good in beer. I'm really surprised.
Yeah.
When used properly.
Yeah. You can't overdo it.
I did have before we move too far away from your oatmeal stout, I had a question come through from Copper Apple in the chat room who wants to know what hops you used for this stout. Are we allowed to give that?
If I knew what they were, yeah.
Oh, right.
What would they be if you were to do it again?
They can email me and I'll answer that.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head. Again, our recipes, do change some. It's pretty lowly hopped. And my email address is easy, fallen at avbc, like Anderson Valley Brewing Company.com. So anybody who wants to email me a question, please feel free, fallen, avbc.com.
Perfect. There you go. Another question came through just when we were back to talking about cans, and I think you mentioned it briefly, but one of our chatters asks, I'd like to know how they hold up with aging. Can I sell her, say, a Russian Imperial Stout can for 5 years and expect it to hold up just as good as a bottle?
Good question. I don't know anybody who's done that, so I couldn't give you a definitive answer. All aluminum cans now, whether it be beans or beer, has a plastic lining in there. There's some debate as to whether, if you ate 1,000 pounds of that plastic lining, if it'd be bad for you. So far, most of the evidence is very inconclusive.
Right.
But they are lined with plastic, so it should hold up fairly well. But I don't think anything is going to hold up as good as glass.
I see.
Glass is completely inert, and if I was aging beer myself, I'd do it in a larger format bottle than a can would be, and I'd do it in glass.
Okay. And go ahead, Nicole.
I've always been interested about breweries that choose to use cans, just because there's a couple of other issues. Aren't the liners usually made of BPA, which is kind of controversial and illegal in some places, right?
Illegal?
Yeah. San Francisco banned it.
What?
Yeah.
No,
San Francisco bans everything.
They can't ban it.
Yeah. They ban it in baby toys.
They ban sitting on the ground, too.
It's true that it is controversial, but, it's controversial in the same way that, chemtrails from our jets going overhead and smart meters. It's that kind of controversy.
San Francisco banned those too.
BPA is a serious hormone disruptor. I mean, there's some real concern there. But
in large amounts in babies, is what I've read. I'm not claiming to be an expert, but what I've read is that in large amounts in babies, like baby toys, they teeth on a lot. But if you think about it, again, it's in every single can.
Yeah.
That means if you go out to eat in a restaurant, that food came from a can. A lot of those things come out of cans. Sauces,
unless you go to Chili's,
ranch dressing.
Yeah. Hence your comments about eating 1,000 pounds of it.
My mother actually fed me BPA just right out of a bag, and I turned out fine.
Is that why you have nice man boobs?
Yeah.
Was it government issued BPA?
I think it was the lead paint that got you.
I get a little emotional sometimes, but other than that, I turned out fine.
Would you have to have your smoothie?
Yes, I have to cry and have a smoothie.
I think if there was a real problem with it, we'd have seen more
Right.
more evidence by now.
The other consideration, though, is I've heard some brewers complain about, the makers of the cans will say things like, yeah, this doesn't affect flavor at all, but we're working on new liner technology. So do you think it affects your hop flavor, your hop aroma, specifically the oils from the hops? Do you think those get absorbed into the can liner a little bit and change the flavor? I know you probably aren't allowed to answer that. So
No,
I shouldn't even be asking.
We don't have rules about those sorts of things. We don't know. There's no good evidence. In my experience, the beer out of the can, and I wasn't for cans when I first started there. I thought, really, cans? Come on. And I did side-by-side tasting, bottle versus can that we do on the same product, same day, over a lot of months. And in my opinion, I got to say that the can is better tasting. And I think there's just less air in there. And less light. And those two things, beer doesn't like those. So I don't know, and I do believe that you're right. It's called BPA.
Yeah.
There needs to be more study done, and I know that can manufacturers are looking at different linings because, whether it's actually a problem or not, there's a perception that it's a problem, so they want to find another liner.
Sure. Yeah.
But one of the reasons they put the lining is because of aluminotoxicity, which now turns out not to be linked to Alzheimer's at all.
Oh.
So we all thought it was, and we thought eating aluminum would be bad for you, or having things in aluminum cans
Yeah,
would be bad for
I
you.
used to use it as a screen on top of my bong. I was always worried about that.
Yeah, well, no worries, dude.
Yeah, sweet.
It's much more likely the marijuana will make you forget things than the aluminum from...
Yeah,
but you get bad flavor from straight aluminum, too.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's another... tin cans, before aluminum, they were tin, both beer cans and food cans. And so the liner protects, the flavors in that way.
But if you have shitty weed, you won't taste the tin.
Yeah, if you're really stoned, then what does it matter?
That's right.
These beans out of the can are awesome.
I'm going to call this strain metalhead, bro. If I don't get it, but shit.
Kind of metallic.
It's kind of metallic.
You guys have a lab that's testing both the bottle and can product, and you do probably some side-by-side comparison for dissolved oxygen as well as flavor things, too, I'm sure.
Yeah, we test a lot all the time, and we keep pretty good notes. Again, our lab guys, Christian and Andy, are awesome. And so, yeah, we do a lot of testing, and we do cans and bottles. Our errors are relatively high coming out of packaging for our, what we'd like to see. But we don't have a $4 million Crohn's filling machine. And when we do, I can tell you our errors will be really frickin' low. But for now, we got what we got. And they're a little high, but we test them all the time. We keep tweaking our machines to, get them a little bit lower.
It's cool to have a lab to be able to do that. A lot of craft brewers don't even know. So,
Every craft brewer, in fact, every home brewer, should know something about, any serious home brewer, should know something about lab work and be able to do some very, very simple stuff. You don't need a lot to do it. And if you're a professional brewer and not doing any lab work, you're crazy. I mean, it's just...
You're either getting really lucky or your beer's not that great.
Well... Yeah.
Or you can make it better. Yeah.
I think that. I mean, I kind of say that as a joke, but I really kind of mean it. I think you can get lucky for a little while, just like us homebrewers do, but it's not going to last too long.
I used to say there's two types of breweries, those who, have had an infection and learned, and those who are going to. And it's pretty true. It's not just getting an infection, which is, for a professional brewer, catastrophic. But by doing lab work, counting your yeast cells, knowing what's going on, looking at the vitality and the viability of your yeast, that's so important to how your fermentation is going to behave and how whether you can use that yeast again or use it for that batch of beer. That's an incredibly important thing. As home brewers, because you're getting, if you're not reusing your yeast, it's less important because you're getting a packet, you read the date, the packet's fresh, you're good to go.
You get a certain amount of repeatability because you know what you're starting with. In a professional brewery, you got to do a lab work to know what you're going to be pitching.
Exactly. And if you're a serious home brewer, and you're brewing a lot, you don't want to buy a fresh packet every time. And if you reuse your yeast, you're going to get better fermentations anyway. So you need to start looking at your yeast. But all you need is a cheap microscope. Pick them up at university or high school, sales when they're getting rid of their lab equipment. Doesn't have to be fancy. Hemocytometer, about $25, $50, somewhere in there, depending on what kind you get. And you're good to go.
What does the hemocytometer do for
you can count
people
out
like me?
Cites hemos, dude.
Count yeast cells, and then you buy a little methylene blue.
Yeah.
You can stain those, see which ones are healthy or not healthy.
Okay.
So you get into cell count. You get to look at your yeast, which is really cool. On top of very informative, because it's cool to see the things that make the alcohol.
Yeah, you can see those that had had sex.
Those are your buddies.
They always have a smile on their faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coital yeast.
You're a man whore.
They're like me. They're very deeply scarred.
Yeah.
You toke up on that bong. You spent hours looking at that microscope. Man,
I was
look at
wondering
those
why
things.
Tasty's beers are so good. He's on that microscope, man. All right, I got to get us to a break, but just to wrap up the can topic before we go, here's a good question that came through from the chat. Nate Beer wrote in, can I ask if you've ever done a natural carbonation in a can?
Not possible with... I suppose it would be possible. No, we haven't, is the short answer. No, we haven't.
I don't think anybody has.
We've talked about experimenting with it, but...
what's the worry?
It's difficult. Bottle conditioning, can conditioning, cask conditioning, all those things are very difficult. They're very finicky.
Mm-hmm.
We do a little bit of cask conditioned beer for some accounts. Someone was asking what I do at the brewery. Actually, I'm the one who does the cask conditioning at the brewery. We don't do much of it, I must say.
It's great. You don't have to do much.
Yeah, I do other things.
I think I'm going to be in charge of cask for the Brewing Network.
But it's just hard to do. You mean you got to get the beer at the right time. You got to get the right cell count, of yeast in there. You got to put the right amount of sugar in there, and then you got to make sure that keg, can, or bottle sits at the right temperature for some period of time to develop carbonation.
Yeah.
So I give kudos to folks that actually do it. I think Brooklyn Brewing. I saw a Brooklyn Brewing shirt over there. Nate's got on, and I give kudos to folks that really do it because it's damn hard. Sierra Nevada does it a little differently. It's still hard, not as hard because they take semi-carbonated beer and bottle condition it.
Okay.
So it's your rate of failure is the wrong word, but their rate of inconsistent beer is a lot lower because they're doing it, and I think that's a smart way to do it too. It's a good way, but
there's no
guys,
particular concern over the cans or the bottles. It's the same difficulty either way.
Yeah, I think so.
And
I
the pressure,
would think so.
it seems like if you're worried about pressure in a bottle, you're worried about pressure in the can. Again, that's not different.
Yeah, cans can take plenty of pressure. Cans are so thin, though, they do have a tendency to rupture if they rub together or something. So
I could foresee the can taking even too much pressure so that when someone goes to open it, they get nothing because everything just spews out of there.
Spews
right?
out. That happens in homebrewing. Hopefully not.
Yes, it does.
You got to be careful with the bottle and can conditioning. So.
All right, let's do this. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk more with Fal. He's got some experimental programs going on over at Anderson Valley. I think some of them weren't even intended to be experimental. They just ended up that way. So that'll be fun stuff to talk about. 888-401-BEER if you have questions. This is more music from our headliner at Winterfest. You can go to winterbrewsfestival.eventbrite.com and get tickets right now. This is Forest Day. The song's called Assholes, and it's about working for them.
Same. On the patrol, I got fired. No more of the same. No more of the same thing. No more of the same. No more of the same thing. Hit the streets, I'm only people in potholes. I just got fired trying to work for assholes. It'll lasted a little bit longer, I would have quit. But it's 3 weeks till Christmas and I wanna buy my girlfriend a gift. Oh well, it's for the better, I can tell. I guess I don't respond well. The middle management knows the damage, mindless little bastards with the grudge against anyone like me who won't put up with an attitude. Monkeys pinching pennies telling me what to do. I'm tired of working for assholes. 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 I could understand a little better if you're up in Trump Tower, but you're turning into monsters for $10 an hour. You're cowards. Like monkeys with whips, I make a buck less than you when you want me to do backflips. Nah, you're mistaken. Gotta bring home the bacon, but it's not worth the shit that I'm taking. The smiles you're faking. I'm sure I have my price, but it's more than $9.75. Oh, got tired. Every day was the same. On up until I got fired. Oh, got tired. Every day was the same. On up until I got fired. No more of the same. too impatient. I know that I'll weaken the ways within my reach. Cause Yankee's got a buddy you can put me in a room on the beach. No fee, just food and gasoline. Just gotta hop a couple hurdles that could make it hard. A small check, insure and register my car. I know I'll just put it on a credit card. Get a job, make minimum payments, still the two-word start. I'm tired of working for assholes. 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 Freedom at last. I got a pack of cigarettes, a 12-pack of pants, and I'm sad with the materials I need to forget. I told my girlfriend the news and she isn't even upset. She's the best, bless her little soul. When she gets home, dinner's ready and I'll pack her a bowl. I'll pack my lady a bowl. Got tired. Every day was the same. All up until I got fired. The same thing, no more of the same, no more of the same thing.
A vial of White Labs yeast is the key to your best beer. When you open a vial of White Labs yeast, you're giving your beer its best chance for a perfect fermentation. In addition to their already incredible variety of yeasts, White Labs is proud to announce WLP 90, San Diego's super yeast, now available year-round. WLP 90 is super clean, super fast fermenting, with low esters and has a neutral flavor and aroma profile. It's alcohol tolerant and highly flocculent. For more of the latest White Labs news, click over to whitelabs.com, where you can read reviews of yeast, learn in the lab section, and join the customer club. And if you should find yourself in San Diego, White Labs has a brand new training facility for craft brewers and home brewers alike. Whitelabs.com. Discover yeast, nutrients, enzymes, and more for commercial breweries, home brewers, and homebrew stores. White Labs. It's all in the vial.
And now, Northern Brewer presents What If Homebrewers Ruled the World?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll follow me, I will lead you into the gallery area. Now, the first piece up for sale today is a Jamil Zainasheff original, a bottle of 1997 vintage Evil Twin.
I say.
A bidding for this one-of-a-kind piece will start at £7,000. And if you'll continue to follow me, ladies and gentlemen, I can show you a rather abstract piece from Bay Area brewer Justin Crossley. It's a German Doppelbock entitled Justin's Giant Bock. The brewer's notes here indicate that this beer had excellent mouthfeel.
That's just a crazy dream, or is it? With Northern Brewer, a thirsty nation can craft its own ale and lager for the greater good of mankind. Northern Brewer, the home of $7.99 Brew Saver shipping, superior customer service, and the finest selection of home brewing goods for the future.
What does craft beer mean to you? Is it a delicious way to support your town's local brewer? Or perhaps it's the perfect beverage to pair with those delicious meals at your favorite restaurant and at home. Regardless of whether you're thinking of pints or pairings, pilsners or porters, craftbeer.com is the site where craft beer lovers come together to learn and share. Craftbeer.com is brought to you by the Brewers Association and celebrates the best of American craft beer and its brewers. Craftbeer.com is the best place to find craft beer events, recipes, great feature stories, the most up-to-date brewery listings, and resources for your next beer tasting or dinner, like style guidelines, pairing mats, and charts. Get the inside scoop on new beer releases and special events from today's craft beer insiders, and chime in to share your own knowledge, perfect pairings, road trips, recipes, and more. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
What'd you get? More brewing ingredients?
Yep. You know what I love about Brewmaster's Warehouse?
The $6.99 shipping.
Well, yeah, but...
Oh, the in-store classes for beginning brewers.
Yeah, that's cool, but...
Oh, the Brew Builder. Creating and saving your recipes online is awesome!
No, yes, but...
The cheese-making supplies.
No.
Oh, the wine-making supplies. Oh, the distilling equipment and liquor flavorings.
All that stuff is awesome, yes, but what I really love is that the guy who runs it is totally hot.
And that Brew Builder software is awesome.
Oh yeah! Brewmaster's Warehouse brings you flat rate shipping on great equipment and ingredients to make beer, wine, cheese, and spirits at brewmasterswarehouse.com. And if you're in Georgia, stop by Brewmaster's Warehouse Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Visit brewmasterswarehouse.com today because it's totally hot.
Oh yeah!
What's funny is brewers will say, yeah, I don't brew to stop. I'm brewing my own beer. And it's like a German Pilsner, but it's black. Yeah, it's a sports beer. You know?
The home of live beer radio. TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
Radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The Session.
tuned into The Session.
Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for sticking with us. We're still talking to Fal Allen from Anderson Valley Brewing Company and drinking his wonderful beer, too.
So good.
Just poured the porter. I haven't tasted it yet. I just got it in my glass. Before we get to that, a little bit of business to take care of. If you're looking for dildos and stuff, you can go to adamandeve.com.
I am, actually. As soon as the Niners pull this off.
Somebody was asking me about that just today.
Is that right?
Yeah.
BN sells dildos to the Banarmy.
Yeah, hey, look, if you're looking to spice things up in the bedroom or looking for surprising your lover with a new and adventurous toy, you can go to adamandeve.com. And for a limited time only, you get 50% off just about any item. So here's what you do. You go select any item at like 50% off. Then you get 3 free adult DVDs. Not children's DVDs.
No.
Not even teenagers'
You don't
DVDs.
get Thomas the Tank Engine.
Although you might get something along the same lines of Dora the Explorer.
You get Thomas the Stank
Hora
Engine.
the
Oh.
You get your 3 free adult DVDs.
I'm going to buy ThomasTheStankEngine.com. That's going to be a good one.
It is a good one. Yeah.
I can't get through that tunnel.
Yeah, you can also,
you're not trying hard enough.
You get 3 of them, so you can get Thomas the Stank Engine, then you can go over and you can get the Hunt for Red Cocktober.
Yeah. And then Log
Anal
Jamming.
Brockovich.
Yeah. There's all, exactly.
Spartacock.
If none of those are serious enough for you, then you can go get Mr. Holland Opened Us.
Oh.
And there's a lot of good ones out there. Plus, you get a free extra gift so sensual, we can't even mention it on internet radio.
But we can say Dora the Anal Explorer.
Yeah. But we can't mention the free gift. Anyway, you do all of it by going to adamandeve.com and use coupon code BNARMY. That's BNARMY. And no joke. You can also go to their mobile site. If you just can't wait until you get home.
Well, they have these large phones with these giant screens.
Right.
What better way to do it than look at hot chicks dressed up in lingerie?
You're sitting there on BART.
Yeah.
And just looking at the rabbit.
Nonsense. Well, let's face it, that's not the weirdest thing you're ever going to see on BART.
You're on
right?
BART, like some lady in her business suit, and you're looking at 2-ended dildos for your... I know.
Trying to compare.
Anyway, m.adameve.com is the mobile site. Use coupon code BNARMY, and they're good to us, so...
BNARMY.
Let them help you. Let them help you be cooler in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Right, Nicole?
I'm still looking for those 3 free DVDs.
You are?
Wait, what?
I'm telling you, Nate kept them.
Well, when me and your mom watched them, she liked them so much, she took them.
Oh! Nate just
went
did a
there.
your mom joke with his own girlfriend.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's good you like what she looks like, because I'll probably turn out the same way.
That's a good point. That was a good point. My dad used to say that to me. He's like, I'm going to give you the best advice I could ever give you, son. What's that, Dad? Look at your girlfriend's mother. Because that's what you get.
Specifically her buttocks.
Go look at your girlfriend's mother's butt. That's what you get.
So have you met Kate's mom?
I have met Kate's mom.
Well.
Well, let's just say we're all going to be that age one day. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, I saw your dad's ass. Come on.
Yeah, my dad's looking all right, right?
You're there now, so don't worry about
That's true. Yeah, I'm a mess. All right. Well, now that you've been through that, Fal, welcome back to the studio.
Wow.
He's getting his keys, isn't he?
Right. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was your gold medal winning was it a Belgian double this year?
Yeah, we were very, very fortunate. The Brother David's double got a gold medal at the JABF. It's had a couple silvers from the World Beer Cup and the JABF before.
Wow.
But we were very, very happy to get a gold medal.
Now, that seems like a beer that would be difficult to have some consistency with in terms of flavor. Is that a very different beer every time you guys brew it, or are you able to dial it in?
I think it's pretty dialed in. It's one where the recipe doesn't change a lot.
Okay.
Those bigger beers are tough if you're using yeast that doesn't like being big. But the yeast we use is Belgian from Chris down at White Labs, and the strain really likes, doesn't mind being alcohol inundated.
Okay.
So that beer comes out, I think, pretty consistently, pretty good.
Do you have to use a fresh pitch every time so that it's not tired out or mutated?
No, we try and use it as many times as possible.
Okay.
Work it.
Sure, yeah.
But we don't brew that beer all the time, and we use the same beer for the triple. So it gets a pretty good workout every couple weeks. I think as we get busier and brew more of that beer, which we are, the beer will be a little more consistent and the flavors will be a little bit nicer. That beer gets a surprising amount of age on it in the fermenter in the conditioning tank before we put it in the package, and I think that's one of the reasons it's more consistent. We give it a lot of time.
How long's a lot of time?
Months.
You do? Okay, so
yeah.
You're able to really sit on it then.
Yeah, and sometimes not on purpose.
Okay, yeah.
It's not the fastest selling beer, and again, when you're a professional brewer, you're brewing a lot of different things, and when the day comes up to brew a double or triple to use that yeast, you pretty much got to use it. You got to work it into the schedule and get it going. So we brew it we use that yeast regularly, but once it's brewed, sometimes packaging can be a little more problematic. It's not our fastest seller, so it can sit for a while, and that's good.
Is it sitting in its packaging, or you have it's in you have a vessel for it?
Our guy Dave Gatlin, who manages this sort of thing. Thank you, Dave.
Is the beer named after him?
Dave's not here, man.
Well, we have a beer called Gatlin Damnosis that is named after him. It's a sour barley wine, but the Brother David's is named after Brother David Keene,
right?
Who actually helped us formulate the double recipe.
Cool.
Tornado Dave, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But no, our guy Dave Gatlin is absolutely manic about making sure that the beer doesn't go into the package until it's been ordered. So it spends a minimum of time in package in our warehouse before it gets shipped out. And he's really, really, really good at that.
That's difficult.
It is.
I can see why you're really praising him for it, because that's a tricky thing.
I told him if he quits, I'm leaving. And I told Trey when I came on, if our plan is to get rid of Dave, don't even think about it, because I can't come to work for you. Because without Dave, that place just wouldn't run.
Yeah. So he's not like Shitter Dave or...
Oh, no.
He's
Shitter
Joe. He's Dave. Dave owns it.
Yeah, and he's a good brewer, and he's an awesome production manager, and he's a really nice guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he keeps it in essentially like a bright tank type of a vessel until it's ready to package? Or?
Yeah, we have, the fermenter's got to get used, so sometimes it sits a little while in a fermenter, but most of the time we get it filtered and get it over into the conditioning tank, where it continues, I think, to improve with age. Big beers like that need that extra time.
What goes away? What are you looking for to happen?
Not so much goes away. I'll give you an example. We used to make a beer up in Seattle at Pike Place, the stout, the 5X stout, which I think is a brilliant beer. It's a very, very simple recipe designed by a guy that used to be very well-known in brewing, Vince Catoni. Less known now because he doesn't drink beer and he's a hermit.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
Oh, and did I mention he's grumpy? Hi, Vince.
You sure it's not this guy right here? Is that him?
Hey, you're lucky I'm here right now. I have a warm bed waiting for me.
But Vince designed this beer, and we'd brew this beer, and this beer was, you could, at 28 days, it just wasn't ready. Anybody could have tasted it and said, it's just not ready. And at 35 days, it had gone through, this transformation. So within a week, it would, we'd brew it, 21 days, not ready, 25 days, 28 days, just wasn't there. Even 30 days, sometimes not quite there. But at 35 days, or 40 days, it was a whole new beer. It was just awesome. It went from being kind of, to an awesome beer. And I can't explain, what happened. There's people still doing research on that kind of thing.
Okay.
But, the flavors really kind of melded and became much more of a cohesive beer. It was much rounder and softer. It wasn't all elbows and knees. And what was going on in there chemically, I don't know.
Sure,
but
I guess I more mean like flavor profiles with your beer too. Because here's why I'm asking this. I'm asking this for our listeners because here's what they do. They ask, "Hey, when do I know that this beer's ready?" And most people who sit in the chair say, "Well, taste it. You taste it.
Taste it."
And that's true. We all know that's true. But there's a lot of people still learning what are they tasting for, and so you see what I'm getting at. I just wonder if there's any specific type of flavors you're looking at.
Flavors are hard to describe, but I'll tell you, here's what, we taste beer every single day at our brewery. We taste all our beers multiple times in the process. We taste them out of the fermenter. We taste them before they're filtered. We taste them after they're filtered. We taste them in the package. We taste aged packaged beer, although we don't do that as much as we should. But we taste, probably an individual beer will get tasted 4 to 6 times throughout its life.
All right.
We encourage folks to go over to our pub and drink there. And we, when we do a tasting, although not incredibly formal, it's fairly formal, and there's a lot of good discussion. And we like to get people from the outside in to get, some other sites of insights. People don't do it every day.
Yeah.
And if you're, like you said, if a brewer wants to know, what he needs to do is taste his beer every day. And the best way to learn about beer is to brew the same beer all the time.
Yeah.
You learn an enormous amount. Okay, it's kind of boring, I admit, and I can't do it myself at home anyway. But you learn an enormous amount by brewing the same beer over and over again and tasting it at its different stages. And although I can't tell you necessarily, what flavors you're looking for or not looking for, but you're looking for the beer flavors to become integrated and cohesive and meld together. So instead of having them be kind of like a 1-2 punch, they're more like a nice camel hump flow. They're curvy, they're smooth. And
I can relate to that. I know what you mean by that. It's just because you can sometimes taste it and go, wow, it's just so harsh on this end, or it really sticks out over here. I see what you mean. You're just waiting for it to meld together.
Round up, and you if you taste the beer every day, you'll know that, at 7 days is not good. At 10 it may be, depending on the beer. Mm-hmm. But most of them take 14 or more. And I think aging your beer is an incredibly important part of it, and brewers that are not giving their beers that time are missing out. Your beer could be better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you were saying, does it sit on the fermenter, or does it sit in the conditioning tank? At some point while aging a beer, it's good to be on yeast. Yeast is reabsorbing some of those things you don't want, like diacetyl.
Mm-hmm.
They're pulling it back in, or they're metabolizing it. And then at a point, they start to run out of glycogen and eat themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Their cell walls will actually burst open, and they'll release the cytoplasm, the insides, out into the liquid, and that's bad.
Okay.
So you don't want that. So aging your beer on yeast is good to a point, and then you got to get it off the yeast, whether you just transfer it to another vessel or whether you filter it or whatever you do, but you don't want it sitting on a lot of yeast.
Sure. Do you guys have a maximum for that at the brewery? Is it 30 days? Or does that change by beer also?
It changes by beer, definitely.
Okay.
And by yeast strain. But we're so busy, we rarely get to the point where it's a problem. Occasionally, the Brother David's double and triple will get up near there where we talk about, well, we got to get it out of the tank because we don't want that to happen. And once those yeast cells break open, it's a very known flavor. It's very predictable flavor. It's very meaty.
I see.
Sometimes metallic, but autolyzed yeast flavor is very, people know what it is and you can taste it, and it really affects the beer. So you don't want that.
Tasty, do you have a rule of thumb getting your beer off the yeast? I know that you brew a lot of the same beers over and over.
Yeah, a lot of brewers ask me, like, I left my ferment going for an extra month because they didn't have time to rack it.
Yeah.
You're probably okay, but yeah, it's a good idea to, like, as soon as the ferment's done, to move it on. Get it off the yeast, get it into packaging.
Okay. Yeah. But that, and if I could just say, because I am definitely the lazy brewer who wants to forget about it for a little while, I've even after fermentation, I've let it sit for 3 weeks and really been fine. I mean, I think I've let it. Okay. I've also gone the other way. I've let it sit for 7 weeks and tasted what you're talking about, and gone back and go, "Wow, you lazy shit! You just ruined your beer."
Well, even if you're letting it sit for 3 or 4 weeks and you're not necessarily tasting anything, it could still be there. That could be a flavor you attribute to homebrew because the people you homebrew with maybe do the same thing,
leaving it.
Yeah.
So even if you don't think it's a good practice, do it anyway, because it is. The science says that it is, and you'll probably notice a difference in your beer if you start when it's done, when it's telling you, hey,
Yeah.
I'm ready to be packaged, or
I guess I just bring up the length of time too because I worry about mostly because I've done it so often not letting it finish because, like you said, Fal, there's a point where it's really doing what it's supposed to be doing and cleaning up after itself, and so just don't be too uppity about getting it off of that yeast.
Uppity.
There's a lot of different things that go on in there. If during fermentation, you're at whatever temperature, let's say you're doing an ale, you're at 68 degrees, and that's good. And your fermentation finishes up and your yeast quit making alcohol. Well, you need at least, in my opinion, 2 to 7 days for that yeast to reabsorb some of that stuff.
Right.
And you can go a little longer. You could go 2 weeks, you could go 14 days. But after 14 days, depending on the beer and the yeast and many different things, then that yeast is going to run out of energy. It's going to start, eating itself, autolyzing. And that's when you're going to start to pick up those flavors. Now, if you age that beer at the end of fermentation, let it do its 7 days finishing up, and then chill it, that time period afterwards is going to be extended because chemical reactions, yeast metabolism, everything is slower under cold conditions.
Yeah.
So
is the cleanup, too.
Yeah, it's way easier because
But you got to clean it up while it's warm, and then chill it to
and that's
stop the
that's a mistake I've made is the chilling
Chill it too soon.
before I've gotten into the habit now. It's from Chad actually because it's one of my roommate who I brew with. When essentially after fermentation has pretty much stopped for that period of a few days to 2 to 14, I'll actually just turn off the temperature control on the fermenter and let it free rise. My house doesn't get too hot, but in other words, if I might ferment that beer at 66 for the cleanup phase, I don't really care if it goes up to 74.
Yeah, it's actually good.
Okay. So you think that's an all right process too?
The temperature rise is good for it. It'll absorb more diacetyl that way, and there are other things that it does during that period. But warmer, it's a little more active.
All right,
but you can't go too long.
Okay, at that temperature, you mean? Okay, so that might be something I need to watch because I've let it sit at 74 then for a couple of 3 weeks, and maybe after I let it do that for a week or so, I should be crashing it down.
Yeah, I would do 4 to 7 days, and then crash cool it. And keep it cold from there on. And if you're not going to reuse the yeast, then you can pull it off any time. If you're just dumping the yeast. But if you want to reuse the yeast, it's good for it to sit on beer as long as it can before reusing it.
Okay.
But transfer it into another vessel after you've cooled it for a week.
Yeah. Okay. And that's something definitely once I get to cool it down, especially we have these more beer conicals, so you saw our stuff out there, Fal. It's like it's like a microbrewery, it's a nano brewery, I guess.
It's awesome.
But anyway, super easy to transfer the beer over to. I basically just keg then at that point, and I use my kegs as my bright tanks. I might not carbonate right away, but I'll keg off of the conical fermenter and then just let it sit in my kegerator until I'm ready to carb and serve it.
Something that we've noticed, at least I've noticed over many years of brewing, is that even after your fermentation's done, you've chilled the tank and all the yeast has fallen out, if you transfer into another vessel, particularly if it's a metal vessel, the electrostatic charge that vessel holds will pull out a lot of the things that makes your beer cloudy, and the yeast themselves. They'll cling to the side of that vessel, and what you'll end up with is brighter beer without filtration.
Interesting.
Whoa. You were talking about how chemtrails were bullshit. Now you're talking about electrostatic charge. I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Did I say they were bullshit? I said the worry over them was bullshit.
Right.
Of course the government's spraying us with things and controlling us. Come on.
But why worry about that? You're fucked either way.
I bet they want you to say that.
You just want to outlive it, yeah.
But that's an excellent point that you're making. So from a homebrew scale, kind of what you're saying is as opposed to what I might do is use a secondary vessel that's a glass carboy, by going into a metal keg like I do, I'm helping to clear the beer.
I think so. If you don't move that keg, that's great.
Yeah.
Because the yeast and the proteins and things will cling to the side of it. And
Interesting.
You can see it when you empty the keg. If you empty it really quietly and calmly and smoothly, when you get down to the bottom of that keg, you look in there and the walls will all be coated with yeast cells and
Excellent
protein.
Point, yeah.
And that's great because what you do is without filtering, you've sucked out or pulled out some of the yeast cells and some of the proteins and things that not just affect the clarity but affect the flavor, because anything that affects your clarity does in fact affect the flavor. cloudy beer has a definite different taste than a bright, sharp beer.
Yeah,
and
I'm on the same page there.
All
you
kinds
go
of
to
hop
England.
matter and proteins and all kinds of stuff.
Right,
tannins, proteins,
right?
yeast.
Yeah.
What's that have to do with beer?
Yeah. And those things shouldn't be, in my opinion, shouldn't be in your beer.
Those are all by, yeah.
You go to England, and someone pours you a pint of beer, and it's cloudy.
That's a fail.
That Cellarman, that's a fail.
Yeah.
That Cellarman wasn't doing a good job.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you get some of Nate's beer there, too, for Foul.
Thank
Both
you
of
very
you.
much.
Yeah.
Foul, back to something you mentioned earlier about when the yeast start to break down, you leave it in the tank too long, and you get autolysis and meaty flavors and those kind of things. I've listened to pro brewers talk about monitoring pH, and when the pH starts to rise, they know that potentially the cells have ruptured and that the guts are spilling out and those kind of things. Do you think that's something that's monitorable in that kind of sense too, in like a scientific way, or is it something that mainly has to be done by feel and taste?
I think that definitely that once the cells start to rupture, your pH will rise. We don't monitor it that way. Maybe we should. But I've read articles that talk about that and use that as an indicator. I don't think most of our beers have enough time to get to that point.
That's one possible metric that can help you out, though, potentially.
And if you think of yeast as populations, like, the yeast in my porter is a lot like, I don't know, pick a city, San Francisco. There's a lot of different people, and they all behave differently. We're all people, but we all do different things and do them slightly differently. So you think of yeast that way. Some of the yeast are going to start to autolyze sooner than others. The question is, where does the bulk of them start to autolyze? So if you're watching a pH rise, it gives you a good indicator. As soon as it starts to rise, something's going on.
Yep.
And when it's noticeable rise, then you know that the majority of them is going on.
And then you should rack it off.
Or you should have racked it off a few days before.
Exactly, yeah.
The problem with that is that, you don't know until it's probably too late.
Too late, right.
So, but by keeping
it can give
records...
you an indication of that strain, perhaps.
You can predict it outcome if you keep a record.
Yeah, keeping good records is a great part of brewing because that makes things repeatable, and you learn stuff, like you're saying.
If I wait this long, this happens.
Yeah. No. I watched the pH rise. I know, it begins to rise at day 9 with this yeast. And so at day 8, day 7, I got to get going on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have an original Doors album. Keeping good records is important.
Wow.
Yeah, is it scratchless?
Shit.
Wah, wah.
All right. I just was I was like, it's going to come to me. I'm going to get what he's talking about in a second.
You won't, but you still don't, because the only person that gets it is me.
I don't get it.
And even then, I don't even like it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say something.
Yeah, keep it out there.
Thank you.
So back to the Belgian double, if we can, since it's a gold. No, it's all right. This is how the best conversations we have on here go like that. We just end up talking about the stuff we really want to. But I'm just curious about it because to me, now I like a Belgian double, but I have to admit that I rarely like a Belgian double because with the higher alcohols, it can be a little too phenolic for me. I also find that my palate has become really sensitive to the iron flavor. And so, in particularly when you get to like Belgian doubles and triples, I start to taste blood more often in these beers from this iron flavor. So, the question I'm getting at is, what do you think the tricks are to this beer, to keeping the phenols, low enough so that you're still really tasting the malty features of the beer, the yeasty features of the beer?
Some of that has to do with aging.
Okay.
I suspect that your favorite Belgian doubles or Belgian style doubles are probably aged a little bit longer, and I think that helps. Fermentation temperatures, not completely out of control, like at 92, like I did for the Saison. Bad idea.
Right.
So
out of bounds.
What do you ferment your double at?
I think it's about 70.
Okay.
It's not a lot higher than normal.
It's still fairly warm, though.
68, 70.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't.
Depends on the yeast, right?
It does. It really does depend on the yeast. So,
what about the iron flavors? Is that something that am I just too sensitive to that, or is this beer more prone to that kind of?
It could be that you're more sensitive to it. It could be that because it's bottle conditioned, there's yeast autolysis going on and creating some of those meaty blood flavors, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty typical description of autolysis.
It
could be just the massive amounts of malt they use. Some of the American versions, and I believe we're guilty of this, with our triple, not with the double, they are not as attenuated as they might be. so they're left a little sweet and a little filling. I think our double, because it's not as alcoholic, the starting gravity is lower, it attenuates out nicely. And I think it, in my opinion, it's a better beer than the triple, although I don't think the triple's a bad beer. I just don't think it's as good. In fact, neither did the judges.
Yeah, okay.
So I think those all kind of come into play. So if I don't know if you named a few of your favorite Belgian doubles and your least favorite Belgian doubles, which don't do that.
Yeah.
People wouldn't like it.
Sure.
I think, you'd come up, you could look at how they were produced and who made them and give you some of the answers.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. What is the gravity on yours, for example?
I think we're about 8.5% alcohol, so the starting gravity is up in the, 1078-ish, 1080.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, it's still pretty big, no doubt. But it's not,
also,
it's not gigantic. I mean, one of the problems I think that American craft brewers have had is that, and I don't know, problem is maybe the wrong word. One of the trends is that they've taken the classic styles and just gone with it, like a quadruple,
Yeah.
And at some point, the beers become so big that they're interesting and they're tasty, but you don't want to drink a pint of, 12%,
or even the 10-ounce pour sometimes. Yeah.
I even want to hear it opened.
You don't want to
little I
alcoholic
want to do with it.
But I agree with you on that, that I do want to taste them. I still do want to taste them. I just don't want to. So I'm not quite. JP sometimes is a little more hardcore about it. Like, stop making these undrinkable beers. I do still want to taste them. I want to know what they did.
Well, some of them are very drinkable. Midnight Sun makes Oblivion, their black beer. It's Oblivion. I forget which number it is. They have several of them. But they make an Imperial Stout that is awesome and drinkable, and I think it's like 11.5%.
Wow.
But a great beer.
Yeah.
So, you can make those sorts of beers and make them drinkable. But by and large, if they don't attenuate out, they're not drinkable.
Yeah.
Not drinkable is the wrong term, but they're not sessionable. You don't want to have more than one.
Sure.
They're too filling, yeah.
Yeah, Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger, either way. High alcohol beers, but boy, you want to have a few more of those.
They're well attenuated.
Yeah, they're well-made, well-attenuated beers.
Even the younger one is on the edge for me. That's one that it is well attenuated, but it's still so big that I don't necessarily want another one.
That's the alcohol sweetness
of the younger.
Yeah. But see, and I would rather, like let's say a quad or even Pliny the Younger. I'd rather take a sip of yours, maybe 2 or 3, just to get my mouth, and then that's it.
And then go back to your regular, Russian River IPA or something.
Or not even their ESB or whatever. Like something I like, I like a low alcohol beer. I don't understand the 11, 12, 13% beers. It's insane to me. It's complete insanity. You don't need that. At least I don't need it.
Oh, but you do.
But you don't, because
you do.
Well, I don't know. I like drinking beer. I like tasting different flavors of the beers. And I don't want to drink. I don't want to get wasted after a 10-ounce goblet of 12% beer.
No, you can't take my Rochefort 10 away. Sorry.
I don't want it. But that's the thing is, I don't want it. You can have it.
I don't see. To me, I don't care what the number is on it as much as I care about the drinkability, for lack of a better term.
That's copywriting.
But some of those Firestone anniversary beers, right?
Yeah.
They can be huge.
Yes.
But I don't taste all that alcohol, so I'll love another pour of that. Sure, I'll take another 10
No, they're
ounces,
great. And then in half an hour, you can't have anything else because you're loaded.
Yeah.
But those are bottles I would rather share.
Yeah, sharing.
You know, I wouldn't order a 10-ounce, glass of
And that's
it
the best
for
way to
$12.
enjoy those. You open the bottle and share it with 3-4 people at least.
Bomber.
Oh, I'm supposed to do that?
Why don't those come in nip bottles?
Well,
that would be great.
Right.
Little 6-ouncers.
That's true. It's a good point.
Like Rogue used to do with their the extra small.
It should come with a session beer to complement, like a 2-pack or something.
Dude, a back?
That's a good idea. I like that.
Drake's used to do it too. Drake's used to have those little bottles.
Jolly Roger.
The Jolly Rogers.
Yeah.
Kind of like the old school old Foghorn bottles from Anchor that used to be like 6 ounce or something like that. It was like a tiny little version of a 12 ounce.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You don't see them anymore so much.
I bet that they don't sell that well.
I bet.
Geeks like us will do it, but
I think it's also hard to for shelf space.
Yeah.
Because how's that going to look? You have bomber 6-ounce bomber, but it just doesn't.
Somebody's
look right.
I'm getting ripped
And
off.
the ring
Where's
out.
my beer? You know?
At the till, the ring isn't as good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I sold one nip bottle for $4. Great. Or I sold that 22-ounce for $14.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
that's another thing I don't understand about professional brewers. They make these giant beers. People can have one of them and pass out. Wouldn't you rather they have 4 of your beers?
Right.
I'm thinking, you know.
And so to me, part of it is, and I don't. This is going to sound worse than I mean it.
I doubt it.
There's a little bit of marketing involved. You get people like us to talk about your brewery by putting out the one beer that you're not going to make that much money on.
Yeah.
And then everyone will buy your drinkable beer several times over. So there's a bit of that, I
Yeah,
think.
but can't that backfire? Because the people who are looking for those high alcohol beers assume it's like I use like the Lenny Kravitz song "Are You Gonna Go My Way?" My example of that. Good. I thought it was a great song. It was rocking. It was great. And then I bought the album thinking more songs were like that, and they weren't. And I threw it against the wall. I couldn't sell it fast enough.
But you bought the album, didn't you?
But I bought the album, and I felt ripped off.
You
so
got
maybe,
suckered.
maybe people who are looking for that kind of stuff want to
Right.
try the other beers and go, "What is this? This is 5%." I shit 5%.
Well, I think that could happen, but I think it's less. I think
apt to happen?
Yeah, I do think so. Especially because if you're able to make that larger beer of a very high quality, then you're going to be making those lower beers at a fantastic. And again, we use the example all the time, but Firestone's an excellent example of this.
True.
They can put out some of our favorite sessionable beers, or maybe they're not even sessionable, but super dry pale ales, things like that.
Yeah.
They also make some of our favorite huge, thick, for lack of a really oil like consistency beers.
You know why they're so good?
Matt Brynildson.
He made a deal with Satan.
Matt
Clearly made a deal
Look
with
at that
Satan.
goatee he has.
Yeah, a little goatee.
Actually, if Fal grew out his goatee, he'd look a little like Matt.
He would.
A little bit.
Thank you. That's a compliment.
You know what? I'm going to help you spread that rumor because I believe it, Val. That is true.
I'm serious. He's way too nice.
Yeah.
I can put on Twitter
He's
right
got
now.
to be.
Well, he's
in
always
league
wearing
with
a hat.
Satan.
He's super
What's
nice.
he hiding under there?
Small Satan.
Horns.
Seriously, little.
Look, I'll put it on Twitter right now. I'll start that shit.
Start it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Start it. We did a.
He wins medals. Hot wife.
Yeah.
Successful.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's
Gotta be
it all.
Satan.
Lives in the Central Coast. You're
He
right.
made the deal. He made the deal.
Val is right about this.
Uncalloused
Matt Middleton
hands.
is Satan,
Here's
everybody knows. We're breaking it here
Do you
on
think
the end.
do you think he stirs with a Triton?
No, he uses his pointy tail and a Triton.
Yeah.
He uses Satan's pointy tail.
That would be Poseidon, guys.
We do a Brewing Network Awards every year.
Pitchfork.
And the only serious award that we give away, and even at that it's done kind of half-ass, is our favorite beer of the year. And Firestone gets nominated like every fucking year. We always pick a beer.
Great brewers.
This year, I was just making fun of us because we're such fanboys of his. We just really we just nominated every beer that came out of his brewery in 2011 as the nominee for. He didn't win, but instead of picking one, I just said, "Look at you idiots! We all pick one of their beers. We're just going to nominate everything he's ever made as beer of the year." Turns out Drake's won beer of the year instead.
1500.
Oh, nice.
1500 Pale Ale.
Hundo.
Yeah. So good.
Awesome beer.
Okay, well, that was some good information on the Belgian doubles and things like that. So I do appreciate that because it's a tricky style for me. I want to love the Belgians, but I've really gone away from them because, like I said, I like them, but I don't like them very often.
They got to attenuate. I think that, for me, is the key.
Okay. All right, good to know. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take another break. Fal, do you have to get out of here? I know you got a long drive home. It's 7 o'clock.
I'm not going home.
All right. Oh, great. All right.
I'm renting a room.
Perfect.
I got my shit in my truck.
I'm going back to East Bay somewhere.
Fal's got to hang out and do the Drunk of the Week calls with us.
Nice, man.
Okay, good. Then that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk more beer with Fal Allen. Plus, I did need to finish up our feedback segment. We got Twitter Game of the Week. Here's more music from our headliner at Winter Brews Festival. It's Forest Day. This song's called Meds. And you can find him Saturday, January 28th. Go to winterbrewsfestival.eventbrite.com.
By popular vote from the Northwest Brewing News, HopTech has been voted the best homebrew shop in Northern California. Serving homebrewers for nearly 30 years in Dublin, California, HopTech carries more than 40 different kinds of hops and more than 60 different grains, malt extract, spices and sugars, hop oils and extracts. Open every day except Wednesday or shop online anytime at hoptech.com or call 1-800-DRY-HOPS, 1-800-379-4677. With in-store classes almost every Saturday, huge selection and a dedicated commitment to their customers, HopTech is one of the longest running and passionate homebrew stores, period. And now, by popular vote, the best homebrew shop in Northern California. And don't forget their 15% military discount. HopTech. Visit today at hoptech.com.
When you hear Blickman Engineering, think innovation, passion, quality, and customer service. Blickman gear is designed by brewers to give you a sense of pride in your equipment. At Blickman, they know what makes brewing a pain and build gear that makes it fun. Like the intuitive beer gun, a completely different approach to filling bottles. The Therminator Wort Chiller, a new take on a plate chiller that's sized for flow, performance, and the high groundwater temps homebrewers face every day. The Brewmometer, a brilliant weldless thermometer design with brewing parameters right on the dial. The Autosparge, ultimate simplicity for preventing an overflow or running your mash tun dry. And much more, like the modular top-tier brewing stand, conical fermenters, and their Boilermaker brew pots. With more cutting-edge equipment coming soon, keep up with the latest from Blickman at blickmanengineering.com and stay on the cutting edge.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy f***ing shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Mix me your 100-grain amber recipe, and I'm going to eat it. And then it can ferment in my gut. It totally works. The beer is almost identical to the grain sandwich.
Your colon won't know what hit it.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
888-401-BEER.
This is The Session.
All right, welcome back to the program, and thanks for sticking with us. We're still talking to Fal Allen from Anderson Valley Brewing Company. If you've got questions, you can call 888-401-BEER or hit the Chat Now button on the homepage, and Nicole's in there taking your questions and sending them over here. I see that the chat room wants us to play Stump the Brewer tonight with Val.
Ooh, nice. Good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Horizon and Columbus, by the way, are the stout hops.
Ah, you looked it up.
Oh, nice. No, somebody
let you know.
Text you.
What are they again? Horizon
and Columbus.
Interesting. Oh, that's a good combination. Huh.
Yeah, that's what the sales sheets say. Anyway,
okay. You guys used.
I'm sticking to that.
Yeah,
Horizon on the Boone Amber when we did that for Can You Brew It too? I believe, right? The middle edition somewhere in there.
Yeah, cool. Horizon or Liberty, which are kind of interchangeable for
Loco
us.
Humulone, nice smooth bitterness.
Yeah.
That's the idea there, right?
Nate, I was liking your beer at the break too.
Oh yeah,
what'd you pour? The
nice
Laurel
beer,
IPA.
Oh,
that was Tasty's actually.
Oh, that was
yours.
Wasn't
even mine. Yeah.
I thought that one was Nate's.
No, that was.
He passed you the bottle, I think.
Why did I think Laurel? I went by the name though, but
by way of Julian Schrago, that was
Julian,
the collaboration beer.
Remember we Roger and Laurel did a collaboration thing.
Yeah. Okay. And so that's a good beer. That was nice.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
I was praising. I have to take it all back. Nate,
I'll take the fake.
At the break, I was telling Fal what a good brewer you are, so now I take it all back. He sucks.
No, my brewery's shut down right now. I'm doing a little reconstruction around where I would normally brew. It's kind of lame. I wish I had some beer to bring. Sorry about that.
Bummer. Well, this is good. Whose was this? Stacy?
It's an IPA that I made, but it's Julian Chirago's recipe from Beechwood Barbecue.
Yeah, Julian is one of, well, I shouldn't say our success story. We have a lot of listeners that go pro, though, but Julian was probably going to do it anyway. Good brewer, and he's just gone pro down in Seal Beach, I think it is, with Beechwood
Seal
Barbecue.
Beach was their original.
Yeah.
The brewery's in actually Long Beach.
Long
Beach.
I went there the other day. His beers are amazing. I want to get him on the show.
His stout in particular is great, and you would love it, dude.
It's I was actually really impressed with his cream ale. I mean, not to go to, but all of his beers were rock solid. The only beer it needed maybe a little bit more was like the American Red Ale.
Okay,
but that's me being an asshole. 8 of their beers were fantastic.
I see,
fantastic. It was great.
He's a good brewer,
and he's real handsome.
Surprise me.
So
he's kind of hardcore too.
Super hardcore.
Well, is Beechwood the barbecue place that was? The Beechwood Barbecue's been around for a while.
Yeah, that's the one in Seal Beach. The original.
I've not been there, Fal, but I'm told that it's the place to go for barbecue.
Really nice.
In that whole area, like region.
It's hard to find good barbecue.
Yeah.
You know Danny Frangs?
No.
He does good barbecue. He's doing a mobile barbecue thing.
Slow hand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like one of these truck deals?
Yeah, that's what he's doing now. He really makes good stuff. Slow smokes it.
I want to slow
then barbecue
it.
Maybe I'll get one.
Maybe.
We'll see.
All right, I'll have to check that one out.
Are you talking pulled pork?
Yes, I am.
He wants that too.
But I may have
beef.
cheated on being vegetarian and eating at Beechwood, and it was really good.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is that the first time you've cheated?
Cheater.
Yes. This is my first time.
I forget. Were you both vegetarian, you and Nate, getting together, or did one of you influence the other?
Nate has been vegetarian for like 17 years.
He's been meat-tarded for a long time.
What a pussy.
All right. So you started in when you got with Nate.
No, I was vegetarian right before I met him.
You were meat curious.
When's the last time you cheated on the meat?
I had a little bit there too. It was really good.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, nice.
Look at you guys. Well done.
It was really good.
Well, there was a time that
if you're going to cheat, you might as well do it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. All right, real quick, we've been talking about recipes and different homebrewing techniques, and one of the things that Fal has talked about throughout the night is taking good records of your brewing and making sure that you're measuring things out, that you should have a small lab and really know what you're doing to make better beer. Well, one great way to do that is with Beersmith brewing software. You can go to beersmith.com right now and get a free 21-day trial. You've heard me talk about this every week because we love them. But you really can't go wrong if, for one, you really do need to keep good records and pay attention to your ingredients and how things are going to melt together. So with your free 21-day trial version, you can't go wrong. Go to beersmith.com, take the guesswork out of brewing with Beersmith, and you can do everything with it. You can even track inventory and prices of your ingredients if you really want to get nerdy about it. You can schedule your brewing activities. There are mash profiles preset for advanced brewers. You can pick any mash schedule from the preloaded table in just seconds. Over 300 recipes available on beersmith.com. And it's probably a lot more than that by now because I think I've been reading over 300 for a while. So go check it out. If you want to take good records and be able to calculate what your beer is going to do, Beersmith is the software that's brand new in terms of a new version. It's updated all the time. You can get support. It's not. It hasn't been kind of sitting on a shelf somewhere being left alone. Beersmith.com. It's good stuff. Go check it out. All right.
That was a good read.
Thanks, man.
That's probably one of your top 5.
I remembered to do it. That's the most important thing.
Well, that's why you have a producer, right?
Right. Absolutely. All right, 888-401-BEER. We could start taking Drunk of the Week calls as we wind down. Also, you could hit the Chat Now button on the homepage there.
Also, the Niners might win.
Was there some more feedback? Did you say there was?
Yeah, thanks. I did need to finish that. Glad you got me now. Or else
There's only 2.
Do it. What did I have here? Oh, here was an interesting one. Karen wrote in and said, my husband discovered your show about 2 years ago, and we've slowly worked our way through the archive from show number 1.
Sounds sexy.
Slowly.
Slow hand. Through.
Last fall, we were listening to a Christmas episode where you listed gifts not to get your beer guy. She says, I'm ashamed to admit that I've gotten my husband every gift on your list. I now see the error of my ways, and this Christmas my husband got a brew kettle, a burner, and a stand, and a gift certificate from Williams Brewing, another one of our sponsors, to buy a, she spells it, car boy.
Maybe they meant like a detail, like a little Mexican guy.
You got a gift certificate to get a car boy. Love, where's my car boy?
I would love that if she heard that and totally misinterpreted it.
Yeah.
And he got like a guy who details her husband's car.
Yeah, there's like this little guy standing out in the driveway.
He's
like, what is
rad.
that? That's your car boy.
It's my lawn jockey / car boy. I would love that to no end.
So she says, thanks for helping me give my husband a gift he'll use and love. See you at Winter Brewfest.
Yes.
From Karen.
We'll see you there.
Yeah.
Good job, Karen.
I think I remember that show. It was a long time ago, and we were talking about custom bar towels and all the things that
posters and shit.
Because you're a beer guy, people they're at the store and they see the stupidest beer thing and they go, "Oh, Fal will love that."
Yeah,
it's like a monkey with a wrench and a bottle opener.
Yeah, I need another bottle opener.
Yeah, right. Sounds like, thanks, honey. Perfect. Anyway, yeah, that was probably one of our better shows. Giving a what not to give Christmas list.
Beer ties.
We should do that again.
Because if you wear a tie.
Beer ties.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're bad, too. All right, and one more. Let's see. Jeff writes in, hey, guys, I'm new to home brewing and listening to one of your streams right now. Your show's great. Good intro for someone new to the world of brewing. I'll definitely be listening from Jeff. So I guess the end of the feedback was just to round out all the shitting on us at the beginning of the feedback. So that was a nice thing to do, JP. Put in some good feedback there.
I thought so.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Another thing I wanted to touch on with you real quick, Fal, just about the brewery, because I like to see it when people are doing this, but I noticed that you guys raised like over $100,000 last year for local charities up there in your area.
Wow, was it that much?
I think so. It's in my notes that way anyway.
All of our proceeds from the Boonville Beer Festival go to local charities. And when we started doing that, we're a small community and we don't get the funding that some larger communities do. And it wasn't that important back then because, we still got some decent funding. But with funding drying up is so dramatically, it's become more and more important. And so, if people, when you think about the beer fest and you think, wow, $50 is a lot for a beer fest or whatever it is we're charging now.
It's not.
It's not that much. And 100% of the proceeds go to charities in the valley there and, help keep the parks open, hopefully, in the valleys, help keep, all of our services that not just we enjoy, but a lot of our visitors enjoy.
Yeah.
So it does go to a worthy cause, and we do raise a lot of money, and it is desperately needed right now.
And, speaking of that area that you're in, the only thing I don't like about the Boonville Beer Festival is that I don't want to leave. It's so awesome up there.
I'm sorry, Sunday does come.
I know, Sunday comes, and I do my best to not even see Sunday. I really do. I try hard on Saturday night to sleep right through Sunday.
Well, you don't see it well.
Yeah.
You kind of are blurry until you hit...
But
do you guys come up on Friday or?
Yeah. When I've missed it for a couple years, but Tasty and Chad go every year.
Yeah, we're there.
And you guys go on Friday too, right?
Yeah, Friday's actually a better day to be there because it's not quite so crazy.
Yeah.
And there's you can still get into a restaurant there, so it's a good day to come up. Some of the brewers started coming up on Thursday.
That's even smarter.
Yeah, well,
not for you guys. You guys like Jesus. We got it. Some of us have jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't start coming on Wednesday.
Right. I'm going to come tomorrow.
Hey,
we're here. Wait there.
Speaking of which, what day is it this year? Has it been announced?
If I had a calendar, I can tell you.
Mid-May sometime usually?
I think it's the 12th.
It's on my calendar.
Is what I remember.
I think it's the 12th.
I think so, that sounds right.
Yeah, we have the Craft Brewers Conference the weekend before that.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure we had to move it to Mother's Day weekend, which is the 12th.
Oh, that works for me, though, this year, because the SoCal, that means that the SoCal Homebrew Fest Tasty is the week before, and then Boonville's the week after, and CBC will be done, so that means I think I can go this year.
Well, we plan to do it bigger this year at Boonville, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to do it.
I gotta
bring up your campers, get your tents out, and definitely have your designated driver.
Camper?
I don't even walk.
I don't know about that.
I like walking.
I have to verify my age on your site.
Are you 21 yet?
I'm not.
Is there a word in Bootling for walk?
And my age was
Pike.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Pike to the Dusties.
Pike to the Dusties. Pike can also be riding your horse or in modern times driving. If you got one of them fancy Moshes.
I don't see it on there.
I'm piking in my Toyota.
All right, yeah, so I'll try to make it up to Anderson Valley. But it's an awesome, just a great festival for one. It's very mellow. And I love it, if you do have time on the day before or the day after, whether you turn right or left out of the brewery, it's just amazing. You turn right, and in not too long, you're traveling through the redwoods, and then you're at the coast.
Yep. Yeah.
You turn left, and you just get all this great land. It's kind of a windy road. You're moving a little bit away from the coast, but just like national park beauty everywhere type of area. It's just great up there.
It's a beautiful area.
Yeah, you're lucky to be living back there again.
I'm very lucky.
Are you going to go back to Singapore? Do you have a lot of friends that you go visit there? Or?
A lot of friends there. Hopefully we'll be back. They're having their Beer Fest Asia coming up in spring, and hopefully I'll be going out to help them with that. I helped them last year.
Oh, cool.
Great festival, a lot of fun. It's interesting. Asia, very different from America. They are not what we'd call politically correct in any way.
Is that right?
And
I like that.
That's kind of awesome, yeah. So their beer festival is, they don't stop serving people. They will serve you until you fall down and pass out.
Wow.
It's all part of the program there.
I gotta go.
Nicole's
clapping.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
They have they employ fleets of bar girls to go out into the crowd and hand out beers, which you can't do in
Nicole, are
America.
you with me on this one? Come on.
Boo! The music. Hey, they're employing people here.
Right.
Oh, okay.
The music is awesome. They get great bands from all over the world to come and play there.
Wow.
And it's a huge focus of it. And it's not, and I'm not saying this is good or bad. I'm just saying it's very different. Beer festivals in other countries are very different. It's much more like a giant concert party with beer than it is a beer festival for tasting beer.
Oh, really?
I like that.
It's very different. And it's a lot of fun. It's just a different approach to it.
Yeah.
We should do that.
Maybe Nate can get a gig.
We could all get
Well, no, we could change our festival to be something
all over
like
the
that.
world.
That's what I mean. The last hour of the fest, or from 4 to 5, is for professionals only, where you just have Brain Oil get up there and rock, and everyone just comes in, and people just pouring pitchers of beer. It doesn't matter what it is.
We'll just pound beer all day and get ready.
Not in this
Play.
country. Not the land of the free. You're not allowed to do that
Did
here.
I mention that's not necessarily the right approach?
No.
It's just different.
It's just
Fun.
different.
We're liking it, I'm saying.
Yeah, well, it was fun.
We like to experiment.
Yeah. I mean, Oktoberfest is nothing like our beer fests either.
That's true.
People pass out there.
Yeah.
Practically required.
Actually, the only thing that's really not allowed there is to steal the mug. As long as you're not stealing the mug, they don't care what you do.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
piss on the table and don't steal the mug.
The best beer picture I've ever seen on the internet, is a little Asian dude walking down the street with a plastic bag. It said Tsingtao on the side, and it was full of beer. Plastic bag, just full of beer.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. You mean it wasn't like a grocery bag. It didn't have cans of beer in it.
No, it was
had beer
full
in the bag.
of the bag was full of beer.
like
That's his growler.
Yeah, he went to the local pub, and that was his growler.
Yeah, it's great. I'm like, wow,
Spell this
it
up
is so
for me.
different.
Yeah.
It really is.
Do
And
you
there
help
was a
out?
straw sticking out of it? Because
No.
that also is pretty common.
No, but I don't doubt
really?
that he
Oh, you
had
threw
one
a
in his
straw?
pocket.
Or ice in it. Yeah,
Really?
also common.
Poke a little
Okay.
pinhole in it, drain it in
All
your
right,
mouth.
I'll deal with the straw, but I draw the line at ice, Val. That's it for me.
Hey, when you're in Thailand having Singhan, it's 110 degrees. Ice is not that bad.
It's not bad. Interesting.
Yeah,
When
you'd
in
be
Thailand.
surprised.
Now, do you help out the brewmaster who you left behind there to do your brewing a lot, or?
A guy's name is Colin Page, great guy. He needs no help.
Okay.
Colin is an accomplished brewer, very good brewer. The assistant I left there was also very good, Benton, nice guy, very, very nice guy, very capable. So the two of them together, they don't need my help.
Got it.
Sadly.
Okay. Right, you want to go back and help.
I would love to go back and help.
Yeah.
Guys?
They don't call me very often.
Okay.
But no, I don't help them out. What I do is I've helped out the Beer Fest Asia guys getting their Beer Fest going about 4 or 5 years ago, and then I've helped them out each year to get it together and put it on, and hopefully I'll help do that again. And I'll visit the guys down at the brewery, but they don't need my help.
And what breweries do you get? Just Asia breweries to that festival, or American breweries?
We sent beer last year.
You did?
Yeah.
Great.
So that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Watching people in Singapore drink the Anderson Valley beers. There's actually a pretty good contingent. There may be 10 American breweries, quite a few European, some Australian. Most of the breweries from around Southeast Asia are there. Most of the packaging breweries.
Yeah.
Southeast Asia has a lot more brew pubs than anything else. They don't have very many packaging breweries, but the ones that are there usually send their beers. So Singha is there definitely, and some of the other Asian breweries.
And the ABC laws, which I guess probably
Laws?
isn't
They
called
have
the
laws
ABC.
there?
That's my question. It's very different. It's much In other words, like here at my beer festival, there are brew pubs that can't send beer. They only have a pub license.
Yeah, they don't have those sorts of rules there.
Nothing like that. Okay.
They do have rules, but they're nothing like our rules. It's kind of funny. It's kind of, quite literally, I've been in Singapore and watched a guy who was passed out on the bar, wake up from being passed out, order a drink, get served, and then pass out again.
Wow.
Unheard of here, and definitely not the way it should be done. But, it just gives you, a conception. They have a different concept of personal responsibility and, that kind of thing. But they do have their rules, but they're nothing like our rules.
Okay. Do you think they run the infomercials there? Buzz driving is drunk driving?
No, they don't. They don't have buzz. They have drink driving, which means if you drink anything and you're involved in an accident, you go to jail for a long time.
For a long time.
So there is no drunk driving.
Personal responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah.
Interesting juxtaposition.
You can get drunk and pass out on the bar, but you get behind the wheel, you will go to jail for a long, long time.
To me, that makes sense. You're not like rolling off the bar and killing somebody,
right?
But you get in a car.
Yeah, if you're in walking distance, you're going to get a cab. You're going to be responsible to get yourself home, and you want to get rip roaring drunk.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Do it.
Great.
Why shouldn't you?
They're much less strict with serving and much more strict with consequences if you fuck up once you get served.
Yeah, I just read an article about a woman who got pulled over for her 4th DWI. I was like, really? How is it she got to 3?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Why wasn't she? Why didn't her license taken away forever?
I totally agree
Come on.
with these
That's
statements.
true.
Yeah. Now, JP has a lot of porn on his laptop. Would he be allowed to enter
Absolutely
Singapore?
not.
He's not allowed.
Not with that in a laptop. He wouldn't.
Would they check?
No, they don't check anymore. They used to.
Score.
Did they really?
Yeah, they used to check everything.
Wow.
When I first moved there, you had to submit everything you owned for them to go through.
Wow.
Every book. I accidentally packed Lolita, which is a banned book there, and I thought, I realized it after they'd shipped. I thought, oh shit, I packed Lolita because I hadn't finished reading it, and I was like, hey, that's on the list, but they don't. They at that point they had been a lot less strict about it.
Yeah.
They didn't. My book showed up with the rest of my stuff.
Right.
But they used to screen every CD, every tape, everything. Now they're a little more lax.
It makes you wonder for a minute, though, after you sent it, you're like, oh, damn, I'm not going to make it in now. They're going to deny it, right?
Oh, I'd get in. They just have confiscated the book, I think.
Right.
I see.
And there'd be a little mark next to my name. Dude likes porn.
Monitor this man.
They would tear up page 39, 45, and 87.
Right.
And keep an eye on him.
Yeah, JP's list is like Poonhound 7.
Oh, man.
They're like, I'm pretty sure that's on the list.
I don't have any more room on my hard drive anymore. I actually need to go through my porn and wipe a lot of it.
All right, let's see. Copper Apple is on line 1 for Drunk of the Week. What's happening, Copper?
Hey. What's up?
Sound like you passed out while you were waiting for us to get to your call, huh?
Nope, I'm here.
You good? You just mellow.
I'm here.
I'm fine. No problem. Hello. It's okay.
Yeah, where are you calling from,
I think
Copper?
it's a soundboard.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin?
Oh, nice.
All right, what do you have to drink tonight?
I had a few home brews, a few mixed brews.
How long you been laying on the kitchen floor?
2 hours.
2 hours.
Tars. I think he said tars.
Tars.
Did you say 2 mixed brews?
Mixed brews.
What a mixed brew.
It's like a beer suicide. You go through all the taps and pour a little bit.
Part commercial beer, part homebrew.
Is that what you said? 2 mixed brews?
Blending, yeah.
No.
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 Okay.
All right.
Great.
What is a mixed brew?
We'll correct that.
Yeah, he didn't.
It's like a black and tan.
Are you married?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Actually,
what'd you do?
celebrating my anniversary of unmarried.
You are.
Nice.
This kind of sounds like
Divorced 1 year now.
You've been divorced for 1 year, huh? And has been a good
Raise a glass.
good experience for you? Being divorced?
No, it sucks.
No, it blows.
Getting divorced sucks.
I see. What about being single?
sounds like a less coherent John
How's
Foster.
that going, that single thing?
Is that going all right?
No. Yeah, met a great girl, actually.
Oh, you started banging somebody new. Attaboy.
That's it.
No. Yeah, actually,
It's important
she's
to trim
great.
up early.
Okay.
Are you going to marry her?
You're not banging her, are you?
Yeah, I think I might.
He doesn't even know her. She's actually just a secretary where he works.
He graduated with somebody.
A real great girl.
Yeah, he's like,
she didn't meet me, but I bought a movie ticket from her.
I went
for
to the
Muppets
store.
movie.
I bought cigarettes from her too at the store.
her name's Janet. She doesn't know me yet, but she's gonna
She will.
But oh yes, she will.
Someday she'll know me.
Copper, how would your friends know that you're drunk right now?
I want to get married again.
I'm curled up in a ball crying.
I don't talk. I headbutt because I'm leaning in to listen.
That's a good picture. I can see that. Okay.
Yeah, you can see that.
Singapore has rules against that.
And yeah, I'm a quiet guy, so I lean in and just headbutt people, and I smile, and I love everybody.
What, do you lean in like super fast and you split the bridge of their nose? Some drunk Scottish weirdo, or
Yeah,
what?
is this the Liverpool kiss, or what are we talking about here?
Hey, Mike, come here. Wham!
I'm a tall 10K runner. Yeah.
So you're up above.
I lean into everybody.
See, I can relate to this. I think it's so funny because I'm really hard of hearing. I can't hear shit. And if we're in a loud bar or whatever, I got to lean in. Like I have to kind of read lips and get my ear closed. I don't go. I'm not so wobbly that I'm fucking headbutting people as I'm doing it. But I get the point.
Sometimes I head people. Yeah.
All right. Well, Copper, you sound drunk to me. I think you're in the running for drunk of the week.
That's fine.
You got my vote.
Just
whatever. Well, hey, Copper, do you love cats also?
What's that?
Do you love cats? Because you like to run, so I figured maybe if you'd love cats, you'd get my vote.
Fuck. Yeah, the whole cats thing. Actually, I do have a cat, but I do want to say that...
Do you like every kind of cat?
Fucking what? No, I don't. 2011, lost my wife, lost my house, started making beer, and the beer has been the best thing in my life.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Winning with beer. We like that.
Just remember, it's not across the street. It's down the road.
Yep.
Cheers. Walk it.
All right, brother. Thanks, Copper.
From Milwaukee, cheers.
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 All right. There you go. Copper from Milwaukee.
From my fucking living room, cheers. From my living room in Milwaukee, I say to you, cheers.
I like that he doesn't talk, whereas most people are like, yeah, they say I talk way too much. He was
Right.
like, yeah, I don't, I'm
I don't
quiet.
talk. I headbutt.
So he's in Milwaukee. You think he's
I'm
ever been to
quiet.
the Safe House?
He's had to have been.
Because that's a great bar.
I think I've been to the Safe
Possibly
House.
the greatest bar on the planet.
Yeah, I think I've been there.
The secret agent themed bar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a strict no headbutting policy.
They do have a
That's
strict
right.
no headbutting.
He's not allowed there anymore. I did have a
Cheers.
couple distribution questions that came through the chat for you, Fal. Actually, ironically, any plans to expand your distribution to Minnesota, for example?
We are in the planning stages on that. We like Minnesota.
Mhm.
We'll see if we can do that. But I'm not in charge of our sales or distribution. The boss is in charge of that.
Okay.
So I can only tell you that we're thinking about it.
How many states are you in right now? Approximately?
24, I think.
24?
26, maybe.
Oh, that's right. I remember it being a bunch.
Yeah, some of them are not as...
It's a lot. I know that. Sure,
yeah, we're somewhere in the half.
Awesome.
25, 26. Texas, sort of. We're halfway in, halfway out. Leaving Texas, kind of frustrated.
Then we're talking to East Coast folks. East Coast
normal then.
East Coast folks I work with are like, it's great beer. Can you find it? Oh yeah, it's around everywhere, and they're just happening to see bottles here and there just a little bit. It's pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah, we're sending out east.
I guess one of our Australian listeners, Grod, says that you ship to Australia.
On
Really?
occasion. I'm not sure we're going to do that anymore. Sadly for, I don't know, maybe not sadly. Australia has a whole bunch of barriers to entry, much like my ex-girlfriend.
Who's also unsatisfied.
Well done.
So we probably won't be sending beer to Australia anytime soon. They want you to sticker each individual can or bottle, and that it's just too much for
Yeah.
us. So we do export our beer to Brazil, Japan, Korea, Singapore, a couple other places, a couple of countries in Europe. And we used to do Australia, but I don't think we will anymore. Sorry, dude.
Now, that can't be... you can't be doing that for the money. In other words, there can't be profit in shipping to those places. It seems so difficult.
Well, we don't lose money doing it, no doubt.
Okay.
I think we do make money.
Does it sell for like $12 a 6-pack down there?
I don't know. The Brazil guys order the most, and they're incredibly enthusiastic. The Japan guy, who we just started with, is really good. This guy's so awesome. He sends us kegs, his own kegs. We fill them up. We ship them to him. I mean, there's just no downside to sending him beer. He takes a little bit of bottle and canned product, but it's all refrigerated all the way. He sends us the cans, the kegs. It's a great deal, and the beer gets there really fresh. He takes good care of it. And the Brazil guys are similar. They don't send us the kegs, but they do send all refrigerated supply chain.
Wow.
And so the beer is really, it's in as good a shape as it's going to be.
So they make it easy on you to do it.
Yeah, and some of the other places make it a little bit harder. And sadly, Australia is one of them. We may ship more beer to Australia one day, but...
they need to ease up.
A sticker on each bottle, really?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's what we ask people to do when they send us their homebrew, though. If you send us your homebrew, you're going to put a sticker on each bottle. Pythoner is on line one for Drunk of the Week. What's up, man?
No, have yourself.
Oh, it's one word. That's who it is. It's old one word.
Well, self.
I don't talk very much on John.
But yeah.
You real drunk tonight?
Oh, yeah.
All right. How would we know?
All right.
Well, I normally don't talk to, I call them humans because they're not people. And I'm having problems separating words.
Wait.
He's on another planet.
Problems separating words?
He's literally on another planet.
You normally don't talk to humans?
Aliens have landed there.
Well, yeah, because they're not decent enough to call people.
So who do you spend most of your time talking to? Your pets?
Unfortunately, no. I say boy, I got a big German Shepherd male.
That'd be a pet.
Yeah.
No, my pet's my boy.
I don't think, actually,
I think maybe your relationship with your German Shepherd might be unhealthy.
Might be.
I don't.
Hey, go ahead and clarify.
My parents have him.
You what?
My parents have my dog, and the wife has 2 dogs, and one, if she was to tell me right now she wanted it dead, I would go and beat it to death and dig a hole and bury it.
Can you do that on the air, please?
What the fuck
This is an extramarital relationship he's having with this other dog that he's with right now, apparently.
Well, the other dog isn't...
Was there a beating to death sentence?
There was,
yeah. That's also
I kind of glossed over that, but...
yeah. By the way, Fal's the only one who cares about the unhealthy part. The rest of you idiots are just like... Yeah, he's gonna beat up his dog. It's funny. He's drunk.
I believe PETA is coming to your house now.
Yeah,
they have a squad car.
I don't even have to be drunk to think about beating this dog, and the wife's listening to the radio and probably very, very upset with me right now.
Are you still with your wife?
Oh yeah.
What's with the dog? What kind of dog is it?
It's a Jack Russell Chihuahua. Fucking.
Oh, that
sounds like a disaster.
Ow.
Yeah, sounds like Nicole's regular voice.
What do you mean?
And so your parents took away the other dog because you were talking to it? Is that what I understood?
Well, then no. My parents, I bought their house, and when they moved, they had the German Shepherd that was my dog's mom. And they took the both of them.
You're trying to sort out the life of a crazy person.
I can't help it.
You're trying to figure a crazy drunk person out.
It's interesting.
At least he's not living in the basement of his parents' house.
No, he bought the house.
Well, I know.
He could still be living in the basement.
Right,
Well,
he bought the house to
but he
move
owns
into the
that
basement.
That's right.
Literally owns that basement.
Well, actually, the dog lives upstairs, and I live in the basement because the dog is more decent than I am. Because I don't really consider it a pet. I consider it a person. Underwear.
Because it's more decent.
Where's Pythoner from? There's a good accent.
Fucking Jupiter.
Oh, that's what Georgia.
Where are you from, Jupiter?
What part of Georgia?
Macon.
Oh, well, if you know Interstate 95, it's exit 1.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah, that's...
The one with the tire change place right off the side there?
That's the one.
Is there a Chick-fil-A at that exit?
Yeah.
I got lynched off that exit.
As far as southeast as you can go without being in Florida.
So you make a left, and there's that old mattress on the side of the road right there?
Yeah, that's that place.
With the racist across the street?
Triple K tires?
Well, the people who were the drug people did live across the street, but they didn't pay their mortgage, so they got left.
The drug people got left.
They got
Did you hear that, Justin?
Did they leave their trailer or did it stay?
You can say the black people.
The drug people got left.
Oh, no. They were white. It was a lot of cocaine and weed.
I think there's meth involved here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Pounds.
Well, when I take a drug test, I do pop for amphetamines, but it's illegal, so, whatever.
Shocking.
I see.
ADD meds. ADD.
That doesn't count. Unless you're snorting it with your German Shepherd.
Are you on them now?
Yeah. I took it a couple hours ago. It's 11 o'clock.
Might have to up your dose a little bit,
it's
bro.
Tuesday.
Are you on Ritalin?
No. It's the same shit Doc's on. It's Vianase.
Oh, yeah. That's good shit.
Way better than Ritalin.
Yeah.
Vianase.
Don't take it when you're hungover. Just make you crazy. All right, Pythoner, you're in the running for Drunk of the Week, man.
All right. Well, yeah, I just finished working on my... Oh, I didn't finish working on, but I was working on my cold room. 8-bite cold room for kegs and fermentation and my 5 bourbon barrels.
And bodies.
Nice. It's exhausting.
Yeah. It's really a morgue.
It's not cold enough to drain bodies of blood, so, whatever.
It's just for beer.
I'm glad you know that.
Was that down in your basement or what?
Isn't there a shed out back?
Oh,
When
no.
you do that, you hang
don't
them
have
up,
a basement.
screened, keep the flies out.
It's the next wave in craft brewing. Body hopped bourbon barrels.
And I run this through the central nervous system of a human being.
It's not a person, though.
I call it Randall because then the guy's name was Randall.
Yeah.
That's left ventricle blooded.
Not
It's
like
weird.
that other pussy
Now
Randall.
Sam's going to have to try that. See what you've done?
I know.
Right.
I'm pretty
not good.
sure. I'm pretty sure Evil Sam Calagione already has tried that.
Probably has.
Pythoner, you're in the running for Drunk of the Week. Thanks, man. And Scary Dude's on the line, also calling in for Drunk of the Week. Scary Dude, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How are you? Where are you calling from?
I don't know.
New York, Long Island.
All right.
You mean Strong Island? What?
Strong Island? Fuck yeah,
That's
man.
right. See, I know I
Wow.
connect with my peeps. You thought I was being an asshole? Fuck that. I'm connecting with my
I'm not
units.
bringing it weak. It's coming strong.
That's right, baby.
All right. You had a lot to drink today?
Yeah, I certainly did.
What time did you start?
Easy with the attitude.
About 1 or maybe 2-ish Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
And what did you start with?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of cheated.
Kick some
I'm not
dude's
gonna lie.
ass.
It was a sapphire and tonic kind of day.
Yeah, you are.
That's a
from New
perfectly
York.
fine startup.
All right.
That's fine.
Right.
And it was about 7/8 of a lime worth of gin and tonic.
Okay.
And then I went with, the order is kind of messy after that, but I had a Dogfish Head 90-minute, a Flying Dog doggy style, and a Flying Dog tire bite.
Okay.
As well as this this homebrew that I made. It's called Mindfucker because it smells really hoppy, but it doesn't taste hoppy because none of my friends like hops. I need new friends, I know, right?
Not necessarily. That's pretty cool.
I like a smell hoppy, not taste hoppy beer. Sounds good.
It does sound good.
Yeah.
Sounds like a mind fuck.
Yeah. You know, that'd be a good name
You don't
for
have to
a
get
beer.
new friends.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for.
Unless you want new friends.
Have you been drinking alone all day?
Yeah, I have no friends.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
So
you,
then
you
you-
just said you had friends,
Well,
and now
but
you don't have
He
friends.
did say he has to get new ones.
Oh, yeah.
So
What did you do with your old
happened?
friends?
Right, what happened?
Yeah, the ones that I have don't really count. They're not like actual friends.
What are they, dogs?
I really hope none of them are
dogs.
listening.
No, they're hanging up in Pythoner's cold storage.
Right. Yeah. Well, if you had a friend, how would he know that you're drunk right now?
Because I would take his heart and use it for a pump in my brew system.
How would because wow.
What kind of
Wow, that's a good
behavior?
question.
How does your behavior change when you get drunk? Come on, a little self-analysis here.
Well, I'd like to say that I become an asshole, but I'm an asshole normally, so that's
'Cause you're
really
from Long
not
Island.
so the case.
All right.
Maybe I become nice.
That could be it.
Yeah.
I start to actually like my friend.
You're like a conscientious asshole then. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, I made you these cookies.
Self-aware.
All right. Well, Scary Dude, you're in the running for Drunk of the Week, man.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
All right, brother. Take care.
Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Totally rad.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. I'm super pumped.
Stoked asshole.
All right, we'll do one more, and then I gotta take one more break, and then we'll come back and we'll vote. We'll do Twitter game. We'll do all that. But Z-Brew is on the line. Drunk of the Week. Z-Brew.
Z-Brew.
Did I lose you? Oh, there you are. Hey, Z-Brew. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Calling for Drunk of the Week.
You sure you're not calling for Stoner of the Week?
Not today, man. I've laid off. I've ruined today. If I smoke, man, I can't keep up with anything.
All right. So you just been drinking a lot then, huh?
Yes, sir. I started at 9:30 today.
Oh, nice.
What did you brew?
How's that possible?
Made a cream. I made a cream ale today. I've had the flu the last couple of weeks, so I'm trying to make up for lost ground. So I had a couple buddies over. His dad made a 15% wine, so I killed a bottle of that.
Mm-hmm. How old are you, Z-Brew?
I'm 23.
23. Attaboy.
Sounding 45.
Yeah. I've been smoking for 89 years. So did you fall over at all today when you were brewing?
No.
Did you burn yourself?
No, I got close. I stumbled. I tripped over my dog a couple times, but I spent as much today as I could sitting down.
Attaboy.
You know, doing my best to avoid disaster wherever I could.
Right. Do you think this beer is going to turn out okay?
I think it's excellent. I Facebooked you earlier today, getting an address I could send it to.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, you're going to send us some beer. That's good.
That's right. As long as it comes out okay, I'll try and do the tasty method and fill it straight from the tap because I don't really bottle anymore.
That's fine. Fuck it.
Can't wait for that shit. That'll be good.
But
We're in a drought here.
This is my last low gravity beer for a while, and I'm going to be doing some strong stuff coming up.
Don't puss out.
All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the drunkest you've ever been, what are you right now?
I just woke up from dozing off, and I just realized you were still on, so I'd say I'm about 9.5 right now.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Last time I called in, I called in sick to work the next day because I was peaking till about 4 o'clock, so I'm not quite there yet.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want you to...
But you're half a point away from that, then, by your scale.
That's true. He's up there.
Half a point, but I'm waiting for the girlfriend to get off work so she can take me to Black Star Co-op. So I may be there after that.
I thought you were in Long Island. Am I mixing up my phone calls now?
No.
You're thinking of Scary Dave.
Oh.
It's got to be in Austin.
Oh, Zebra's in Austin. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Austin is nice.
Let me write this down.
Yeah, I was like...
All right, Zebrew, you are now in the running for Drunk of the Week. We're going to take a break and then vote.
Thanks, guys.
All right, brother. Cheers, man. Good luck. Good luck tomorrow and with winning Drunk of the Week. Let's do this. We'll take a pretty short break here, and then we'll come back. We'll do Drunk of the Week and we'll get out of here. Right? We got to do Twitter game Drunk of the Week, and then we can go. Any final questions for Foul? 888-401-BEER, or just hit the Chat Now button. Here's a little more music from our headliner at Winter Brews Festival, Forest Day. It's Saturday, January 28th from 12 to 4. You can go to winterbrewsfestival.eventbrite.com and check these boys out. They're good, man. It's good stuff. Come see us.
You wandered in here all alone. You couldn't leave your problems there at home. You're wondering what's going on. And me, I might seem distant 'cause I'm gone. Take a little time out, take a minute to yourself, don't let it go south. You can put it on the shelf and scream and shout, 'cause it's better for your mouth. Never should have opened up your mouth. Take a little time out, take a minute to yourself, don't let it go south. You can put it on the shelf and scream and shout, 'cause it's better for your health. Never should have opened up your mouth. I'll try to calm myself down. Been running, trying to play with this whole town. I'm strange, the strangest one around. shelf and scream and shout, 'cause it's better for your health. And never should have opened up your mouth. Take a little time out, take a minute to yourself. Don't let it go south. You can put it on the shelf and scream and shout, 'cause it's better for your health. And never should have opened up your mouth. Billowing over, billowing over, billowing over, billowing over. I told him I'd try to knock it off. Turn around and just turned it up a notch. Cook cause some of us like it hot. Think you're really one of them. Chances are you're not. Think you're really one of them. Chances are you're not. Chances are you're not. Chances are you're not. Chances are you're not.
When he came out, he was just a calm little guy. He just, it was like we disturbed his world. No fight. He just came out and he was just kind of, I don't know, it was very intense.
Anything other than perfect is gonna be reason enough for my demons to hate me. Cause lately the voices are rising and volume beginning to alter my mood into crazy. In the nick of it, live in the thick of it. Sick of it, so you a brick of it. That's the road that I've been taking. That's the road that I've been taking. Bright and strong, universal shine. As the day is long, hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind. Hyperactive mind.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients, and the best customer service in the business. Cut hours off your brewing sessions by using one of their 11 varieties of famous Williams malt extract. Their new Snap-Lock stainless steel cam-lock fittings will make connecting your pump or heat exchanger quick and easy. Or check out their exclusive paintball tank-based draft beer equipment. They even have their own line of precision hydrometers. Go to WilliamsBrewing.com to browse their vast selection. That's WilliamsBrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way.
Hi, I'm Jamel Zanishev, and in addition to my work on the Brewing Network, I write the style profile column in every issue of Brew Your Own magazine.
Hi, I'm Sean Paxton, and when I'm not prepping for the Home Brewed Chef on the Brewing Network, you can find me writing articles on how to cook with your home brew for Brew Your Own magazine.
Greetings, cretins. This is John Palmer, and when I'm not writing for Brew Your Own, I'm reading it.
John Palmer, Sean Paxton, Jamil Zanishev. If you love listening to them on the Brewing Network, you'll love reading their articles, tips, and recipes in the pages of Brew Your Own magazine. Join Jamil, John, and Sean 8 times a year in Brew Your Own. And when you subscribe to BYO on the Brewing Network website, half of your subscription price goes right back to the BN to support great beer and food programming. So sign up for Brew Your Own magazine through the BN website today so you can listen and read your way to better homebrew. Here's a bite for beer lovers. Soft caramel made with real craft brew and coated in chocolate. And Hop Drops, hard candies made with real hop oil. Introducing Beer Candy from beercandy.com. Beer Candy's amazing caramels come in 4 mouth-watering flavors. IPA, bitter gold, wrapped in smooth white chocolate. Lager, made with a familiar beer from Boston and coated in milk chocolate. Lambic, soury Belgian goodness full of fresh raspberry and dipped in dark chocolate. And Stout, roasty cocoa chocolate insanity. Hop Drops are made with Fuggles or Cascade hops and are known as the candy that bites you back. Choose from sampler and full sizes of both and make your mouth jump to life. All at beercandy.com. Hop Drops and beer caramels. Satisfy your sweet tooth as only a beer lover could with Beer Candy. Visit beercandy.com today.
You know, when Israel had sinned and God was trying to decide who he gonna send down to save the earth, they was around. Somebody had suggested that he sent Abraham. He told Pharaoh that Sarah was his sister, not his wife. Then said, no, he can't send Noah. Said strictly illegal. Noah was a little wino. I
had a fellow live next door to me who brewed homebrew in the bathtub. The beer we selling now not good enough. But it was strictly illegal. I don't think you want to do this to your children, do you? Man, you gonna make everybody up there wino. I don't think you want to do this to your children, do you? Man, you gonna make everybody up there wino. You know, we have people that live on the street that'll go into your local Dollar General store and buy shaving lotion for a high. Chevy's Regal is stamped and approved by the government agency that said this is healthy. Strictly illegal. Bathtub. You don't want your child at a party. Our children already getting a hold to enough alcohol. Brewed homebrew in the bathtub. I can just see my bootlegger now. I can just see my bootlegger now. Bam. I got all I want for free. I got all I want for free. How you gonna make it in your home if you don't have the facilities to make sure it's healthy? Noah was a little wino. Free. What's gonna keep these folks from making moonshine in their house? Noah was a wino. What is MEAD need? What is that? You know, the thing about this deal that really scares me the most. You got to be scientifically trained. I don't think you want to do this to your children, do you? To determine that. Chevy's Regal is stamped and approved by the government agency that said this is healthy. Chevy's Regal is stamped and approved. Strictly illegal. You know, when Israel had sinned, strictly illegal. God was trying to decide who he gonna send down. Strictly illegal. Somebody had suggested that he sent Abraham. Strictly illegal. He told Pharaoh that Sarah was his strictly illegal sister, not his wife. Then no, you can't send Noah. Said strictly illegal. And buy shaving lotion for a high. Strictly illegal. What is MEAD need? Man, you gonna make everybody up there wino. Strictly illegal. Man, you gonna make everybody up there wino. Strictly illegal. You got to be scientifically trained. Man, you gonna make everybody up there wino.
Live. Beer Radio. The Brewing Network.
The Brewcasters.
If you're just starting, don't be discouraged by all this stuff. It's so easy. Just throw it together. Put some sugar and some water and some yeast in there. Yeah.
Brewing Network.
The Brewcasters are back.
888-401 beer.
Whatever.
All right, special thanks to Fal Allen from Anderson Valley Brewing Company.
Awesome guy.
He had to run. We kept him already an hour later than he had hoped to be here, but a super nice guy, and I just wanted to thank him for coming in and spending time with us. Yeah, it's good to have him around. And, man, that beer's tasting good.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
that's real good.
in terms of freshness and stuff like that, I was kind of mentioning at the break, you know, I don't think he brought us all like beer straight from the brewery. Some of it had like price tags on top. I think he picked it up at the liquor store on the way. I just mean to say it was all super like brewery fresh tasting, and I'm pretty positive that a lot of it he just picked up on the way down.
Confidence in your product.
Yeah, that's class act too. Just paying a couple bucks to buy your beer to have in the studio. It's really cool.
That's pretty rad. So good to have him. I did want to say you can go to avbc.com. It's AndersonValleyBrewingCompany.com, avbc.com, and check it out. You know, SF Beer Week is coming up in February, and Fal said they've just got a ton of different events going on that they're doing. So if you go to avbc.com, you probably get a bead on what's going on, when you can see Fal down here. He said he's going to be down doing different things himself, and then, of course, the brewery will be doing different things. So come check it out, avbc.com, and you can get all the information. You can also get information on the Boonville Beer Festival, where it sounds like you'll find us, right, Tasty?
Yeah, we'll be there.
I want to go so bad this
We'll be
year.
running JC's tasting room there.
I think it's basically, you know what that means is I will have been like living out of my camper for about 2 weeks by that point, because I'm going to the Craft Brewers Conference and I'm driving the bus to that.
Nice.
Then I'm leaving the Craft Brewers Conference to go to the SoCal because I love it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be there, and then
So next
driving
weekend.
up from that to there might be like a day or two I sleep in a bed
It's going to be like 3,500 miles.
on the old bus. Yeah.
Both ends of the state. Yeah.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Oh, it
It'll
sounds
be
like
me.
fun.
It's the mileage that it wears on me, not the bus. I'll be all smelly by the time I get to Boonville.
Well, because you're doing like 55 all the way everywhere.
Yeah, no, you know, just there's no stress,
especially down the 5 with the wind kicking everywhere.
Oh man, last year was it? A couple years ago now. I was driving the bus back from Los Angeles after Burning Man.
Yeah,
and Sam was driving it. Sammy the douche.
Yeah,
and I go lay down in the back, and this bus is swerving like almost off the road.
Yeah,
scared the shit out of me, and it was just wind. It was heavy wind.
Oh,
and
it's
he was,
windy.
I'm like, Sam, what are you doing? The wind.
Bevo's farting all the time. Hey, stop farting, Bevo.
I can't take it. It's the wind. Too many farts.
You're gonna blow the topsoil out, and it's gonna be a dust bowl. Congress created a dust bowl and farting. Windy.
Bevo created dust bowl. Yeah.
Bevo created dust balls.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah. Well, good.
How many beers do we have to try?
I have 2 in front of me. You want to take a DOT dub or you want to take some beer?
A DOT dub. The U was too hard for you to say.
It's got
Fucking
so modern.
hipster over there. DT dub.
Let's
bruh.
talk to Juice on line 1 from Massachusetts.
Hey, Juice, what's happening?
Hey, what's up?
How are you, man?
I'm kind of drunk.
Yeah, that a boy. You drinking by yourself?
Yeah.
I love you on Sons of Anarchy.
Right now I am. I've been drinking all day though. It's about like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was drinking with other people, but now I'm now I'm by myself.
Hey, 9 o'clock, I'm home.
Hang on, I just want you guys to do a little comparison.
Noah was a little wino.
And then this guy been drinking since 9 o'clock in the
I'm
morning.
not a fucking southerner, dude.
You are when you're drinking.
Yeah. Either that you are or you had a stroke.
No, I'm from the Northeast. I might be drunk, but I ain't that stupid.
All right. I just wanted to do a quick comparison. Can you?
No problem.
Can you say what is mead for me? What is MEAD mead?
What is mead?
What is MEAD? What is that?
What is that?
Uncanny.
Shit?
Uncanny.
Fucking honey wine.
Whoa. Fucking honey wine.
Yeah. All right. What have you been drinking?
Yeah,
dude.
Miami, you know.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm currently on my 24th beer, which ain't saying much because I started at like 9 o'clock this morning.
Did the East Coast just come out of him or what?
No, he just turned into Sylvester Stallone.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm from the Northeast. I don't pronounce my R's.
Yeah, but it just hit like 2 minutes into the conversation. Suddenly you're like stereotypical East Coast guy.
Doesn't pronounce his eyes.
Well,
I love
because I was
Juice.
doing my southern accent before.
Juice is a badass. I love this guy.
No, I had a 6-pack of. Hold on, I saved the caps. Hold on. It's like a cold front. It's like some Belgian amber and shit.
Yeah.
And a 6-pack of Polliner Salvatore.
Wow.
Salvatore.
And a 6-pack of Old Brown Dog. I'm sorry, Smutty Nose Old Brown Dog. Brown Ale.
Are you sure you had
And
the entire 6-pack?
6 beer. No, yeah, I've had those 3, and then I'm on my hold on.
Wait.
My 4th 6-pack. Fuck, what is this shit? Sierra Nevada Rye, some shit.
Oh, I'm drinking that too.
Ruthless.
Is that the
Ruthless Rye?
The Ruthless Rye?
Yeah, Ruthless Rye.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's the
I get
one.
it. Yeah, I just picked it
on
up
my
today.
last one.
I'm drinking that right now, and
It's not bad.
it's not bad at all. I kind of like it. What do you guys think of this beer?
Yeah,
Nate?
honestly,
It's really good.
I like a lot of the other Sierra Nevada beers a lot better, but the same. It's not bad.
Can I try some of yours?
Really, really nice Cascade character in the beer. I think. I don't know if that's
Haven't
what they
blown
use,
any
but it
dudes,
seems
have
like
you?
it.
Nate, you haven't blown
What
anybody.
the
yet.
fuck?
Not today.
Are you talking at the same time?
I'm JP.
We're doing that on purpose.
Park the car in Harvard Yard.
Nah, I don't like it.
All right.
It's real fruity. There's like a fruity ester thing going on.
You think so?
Either way,
I do.
though, shit. I should probably go to bed.
All right, well, we're going to pick Drunk of the Week right now, Juice. You are in the running, my friend.
Well, how are his friends going to know when he's drunk?
Oh, hey, how do your friends know when you're drunk?
You ask your friend Mickey to cut you?
Because I don't know, because I fucking start talking like I am right now.
That is fair enough, Juice. Fair enough, brother. All right, cheers, man. All right, there you go. Juice from the Northeast. Or Alabama, I'm not sure. Did you guys hear Push's new mix at the break?
No.
You know when
it's pretty good. I'll give you a little bit of it.
And God was
he did a new one
from last week. It's better than last week.
Oh, they was around. Somebody had suggested that he sent Abraham. He told Pharaoh that Sarah was his sister, not his wife. Then said, no, he can't send Noah. Said strictly illegal. Noah was a little wino.
Kind of bored.
I had a fellow live next door to me who
don't know talent when you hear it.
The deal we selling now not good enough.
Good enough.
But it was strictly illegal. I don't think you want to do this to your children, do you? Man, you gonna make everybody up there wino.
We're just going to play this on loop at BNA 7.
For 3 days.
You know, we have people that live on the street that go into your.
I like the original. I like the first one.
Yeah, this one's better.
I don't like the giant build-up.
You got to listen to them side by side.
We need a big subwoofer in here.
Especially now when you get the Chevy Regal.
Government agency that said this is healthy. Strictly illegal.
Yeah, you got better quotes in there, and you got to be into the techno thing a little bit.
For a little bit. I get that. It's not my favorite. I like the other one better.
I don't think you want to do this to your children, do you?
Right. Chevy Regal.
You just don't like shaving lotion for a high, do you, JP?
Okay, do you have this beer ready for us to...
Yes.
Why don't you pour it?
Right there.
That's it right there?
Yes.
Which one is this?
This is a Brett IPA.
All right, so I guess this beer... Who's this beer from?
It's from my cousin Brian, who you'll remember from the Cigar and Beer Show. Met these guys at a cigar expo. They're big homebrewers, big fans of the show, so they sent us some of their concoctions to try. First one's a Brett IPA.
Very cool. Thanks for him sending it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's next?
It doesn't say Brett IPA on my
You know, that's he sent me that email a while ago. He might have sent me some different stuff in the
green bottle here,
time that elapsed. So I'm sorry if I don't have
Swing
details.
topper.
Ooh, yeah, there's some things wrong with that beer.
It's got a little bit of a urinal cake thing going on.
He wanted, his name's Paul Vaughn. He wanted feedback.
Big phenols, really big phenols, like plastic-like phenols, as well as like a lot of obviously hop character from IPA. But
what is that? Hot fermentation? The
not
phenols?
Necessarily. It could be a yeast choice.
Wild
I think it's yeast choice or wild yeast, maybe, as Nicole is saying. But
okay.
I thought it's too bitter of a beer to try to. The hard part about souring a bitter beer, is that it's not going to take a lot of the bitterness out. It's actually going to make it more bitter. It's going to enhance it because you're taking all the malt sweetness down, all the unfermentable sugars.
I think that's a good point.
And it's too much. I had one sip of it and I can't touch it.
Acid enhances bitterness for sure too. It makes it kind of.
There's maybe a hop choice in here too. There's a pine-like hop character which is clashing from the yeast. I think maybe too. I don't know. What do you think, Nicole?
Yeah. What else, Nicole? Tell me about this beer.
Do it now though,
because it's got some issues.
I agree with Tasty and his assessment there. I think that's coming from kind of a fruitiness that's coming from the Brett. So there's kind of that like peach cobbler that you forgot in your car and then you ate it anyway. Kind of like
I do that all the time.
It's kind of this weird. I don't know why I describe it that way. It's this weird like it's like cinnamon and kind of like slightly turned fruit. Kind of.
So, to be constructive for the brewers, are we talking about a sanitation issue here, or just that maybe don't add Brett to this beer?
The Brett was intentional. I think it's. I don't know that it sat with the Brett long enough, or that they didn't use a very complex set of bugs.
Okay, so more of a recipe issue. You're saying
it's just a concept. What's the point of a Brett IPA?
Well, that's true.
You're looking for trouble.
It could be just a more of a process, really, than either two. First of all, I don't think you should Brett an IPA if it's super bitter like that.
Mm-hmm.
But second of all, it probably was left on the yeast a long time in the IPA. Tasted it, wasn't that great. Let's add Brett to it. Probably left that on the Brett a long time, and you get these weird, funky flavors.
Okay.
But I don't know. I can
buy into all that
without knowing the process and the recipe and talking to the there's no way to tell.
It's hard to say. What's the other one we have?
This one is it's an English barley wine aged in an Evan Williams barrel from the year 2000.
Okay, this one I do have the info on.
I'm going to rinse it out with bitter American.
That one
yes,
was good.
bitter American. It can.
Right before we switch to this beer, Jay, Brett can be used to attempt to rescue a beer that's not working, right?
No.
And is this just an example of one where they tried that and it didn't work?
It can never. No. Garbage in, garbage out. If you have a shitty beer, it's not going to get better.
Nothing's going to rescue it?
No, it's not going to get better by adding something to it. It will make it less pronounced, but it's never going to fix it.
So should you always abandon then a batch that you just...
No, because it could be drinkable, right? But drinkable versus not contaminated or not wrong or broken still is very different.
I think when people are using bugs to, quote, fix a beer that didn't work, it's because fermentation got stuck at some point and the beer is severely under-attenuated. And if you think it's a beer that might taste good if it were sour and thin in body and had the complex phenols and esters that Brett gives, then yeah, try it. But if it's something that's really bitter, or is something that's intended to have hop flavor as the highlight, you kind of want to think twice.
It can be a bit of a Hail Mary to just throw the bugs into some beer that maybe doesn't it didn't finish the way you want it to be.
And does it ever work?
I think that's good advice, by the way, Nicole, to just go, all right, look, would it have been good, just by flavor profile if I put bugs in it? Don't do it just because.
Right.
You have to already like what's there.
I would also say, though, I do get why homebrewers do it.
Sure.
The beer's not good. You don't want to dump it. It's a last-ditch effort, and you're kind of like, fuck it, maybe it will be great.
It might. Hey, you never know.
I do get why that might happen.
You might want to use it for blending if you start making a lot of sour beers.
Yeah. Or you could at least make it drinkable. But if you don't like it in any capacity,
right,
it's never going to be good. And I think it's maybe more if you have a contamination issue. Maybe you didn't clean your keg well or something like that, or there's a contaminated yeast and it's kind of starting to turn a little tart.
Yeah.
Then maybe, pitch some viable bugs, get a vial from White Labs, pitch a couple of those in there, see how it goes. But if you have an off flavor or some weird phenols going on, it may or may not work. But it's worth a try. It's $7 or dump your yeast right now.
Right.
What are you going to? Who cares?
Right. Now the second beer, I think, has some similar issues going on, actually. Though I do have some stats on it. For one, it's big. It's a 13% alcohol beer. Their original gravity was 1131, is what they have noted. Terminal gravity was 1033.
But that hydrometer just popped right back out of that fucking tube, man.
Terminal gravity 1033. So it's a big beer. I do like it better than the first beer, but it has some tart qualities that I just wonder how they got there.
Like tart cherries almost.
Yeah.
I get like you're tasting a sick sour beer, like it's a slick kind of thing going, like ropey, like it feels in my mouth like a ropey quality, you know what I mean?
Did you say two different words there, slick and sick? Or did you say you did?
It's like a sick, like when sour beers are sick, they have like a protein ropey thing
that
going
is
on.
slick on your palate. Yeah. But I don't think I get that.
This beer definitely has some sort of contamination issue, but the main problem for me is the fusel alcohols that are going on in here. It's really hot and solventy
because of how high alcohol.
Yeah, I think that what happened was that wort was just so intense. And this person's a new brewer, you said?
I think he's been brewing for maybe like a couple years.
Okay,
I could be wrong.
I don't
think he's new.
It tastes like a beer where the yeast were really, really stressed out. Which the first time you start brewing really, really high gravity beer, it's pretty common to stress the yeast out by not pitching enough or not controlling temperature appropriately, etc. And you get a lot of solventy character. Mm-hmm. They produce a lot of fusels. All beer is going to have some fusels. It just depends on how much is being produced.
And the higher alcohol you get, the more, or I should say the higher gravity your wort is, like you're saying, the more risky it can be for those kind of flavors, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then also, if you had a lot of yeast stress early in the ferment, and then you potentially have a lot of sugar for contaminating organisms to come in.
Okay. Anybody else want to add to this one? Just constructive for the guys? Because they were asked, you don't have to add to it.
I kind of like the aroma.
Yeah.
I do kind of dig on the aroma. I mean, I can see what he was going for there.
Yeah.
It seems like a decent recipe. I would take it down maybe
down a notch, bro.
Just a little bit, and then pitch. I'm actually on MrMalty.com because I want to see what.
Well, 13%. So they listed the barley wine style at should be 1080, 1120 to 1080. Wait, yeah, 1080 to 1120.
Yeah, it's real
and they're
high.
at 1131. So they're way at the top of the.
Well, to brew 5 gallons of this beer at 1130, you would need almost 7 liters of a starter, and I
doubt
that he did that, and so that speaks to what Nicole's saying is there's fermentation things kind of going on. So
stressed out yeast.
If you're going to brew this big of a beer, and Nicole, you're right, it is a real common thing that. What are the few beers that you do when you first start brewing? It's an IPA or a barley wine, because those are the beers that kind of blow your balls back when you start brewing. And
yeah, they do.
You need to really focus on your yeast.
Yeah,
6.8 liters. Are you joking?
Yeah, you definitely want to repitch if you're going to do something like this. Like build up to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Make a session beer, and then you have something you drink while you're making the barley wine, basically. Right?
Or if you don't go with a starter, you can do 11 vials.
Oh,
fucking joking me!
Wow.
It's like $100 in yeast.
Chris
right
White
there,
and the White Yeast guys love it right now,
dude. Right?
If you didn't know that this was a 13% beer, would you guess it was?
Yeah, I would.
You would.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's pretty alcoholic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can light.
Phenols are amazing.
Yeah, you can light it on fire right now.
It kind of smells
You
like
can light my breath on fire right now.
Let's try it. Let's light some shit on fire. Come on.
Let's light that shit on fire.
Bacardi 151 Fireball.
Yeah.
But there are. I feel like we beat it up just because Moscow brought it in and was like, "Hey guys, why don't you try this?" We're like, "Yeah, this sucks."
Well, they asked for feedback.
Yeah, they did. They want feedback.
No, there's some good qualities to this beer. I think the malt bill is in the right place. There's some pretty interesting flavors there.
Yeah.
Sure, right?
And it's still coming through despite the kind of solventy thing.
Right.
So that's nice.
Like there's a chocolate quality, like overwhelming in the aroma as well as obviously alcohol. There's kind of smells like fresh chocolate cake or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's nice.
Recipe
right?
good. Yeast handling needs help.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I think the recipe's great.
That's enough. Let's get out of here. And I did get a question from the chat at the same time, like, can listeners send in beer to us like that? And you can, but I don't make guarantees anymore. Sometimes we get to it, sometimes we don't. I hate to be responsible for your beer. It does happen. If you want to send beer in for us to evaluate, email Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. He'll arrange it with you. And he does try to, I'll be honest with you, Scott's pretty good about it. He tries to get me the beer if you guys do send it. Mm-hmm. It's no good to send it to the Rat Pad because I don't get to it.
It's lost in the mix. It'll always get tasted, whatever you send to me, but it may or may not be on the air.
Right.
And it may or may not be by the people on the air.
So I wish I could be a little more clear about that, but I'm just being honest with you. I know how it goes. We get ambitious and we say, sure, send us your beer. We'd love to try it and give you feedback. And then we get busy and 6 months goes by. And then we didn't do your beer justice because it's past its prime and shit like that. But if you're interested in doing it, you can send an email, Scott at thebrewingnetwork.com. Mm-hmm. All right, real quick, let's do our Drunk of the Week voting, and then we'll do a Twitter game, and then we're going to get out. Okay. We'll remind you of your nominees for tonight's Drunk of the Week. First, we had Copper Apple on. And he was the dude. He says, when I'm drunk because I don't talk and I headbutt people.
Falls right into it.
Yeah,
Lean in and headbutt.
Lean in and headbutt. He can't hear, and then he leans in, and then he headbutts. All right? So you had Copper. And then you had Pythoner from Georgia. He doesn't like humans. He only talks to his dog. But he doesn't like all dogs either. He only talks to his boy, which then Fal said, as your boy... You mean like a pet? And he said, no, not a pet. My boy is my German Shepherd. Yeah. Fantastic.
Wanted to clarify.
Body hot bourbon barrels, I think, in his cell.
Good old one word.
Yeah. So I just want to point out that man was.
And
drunk.
he linked his a picture of his stupid dog in the chat room.
Oh, he did.
And it's just big dumb black German Shepherd, just retarded looking, big hose coiled up next to him, just like.
Yeah.
Not his pet though.
We all love our dogs, man.
Boy,
most beautiful things ever. All right, and then we had Scary Dude from New York. He started with gin today, and then carried on into other things.
Yeah.
And he related well with JP. Sign of drunkenness, I think.
Long Island.
Strong Island, son.
Long Island.
Making bad choices.
Then we had We had Z-Brew from Austin, definitely hammered. He named himself on a scale of 1 to 10 as a 9.5 on the drunk scale. That was his estimate. And then finally, in the end, we had Juice, who at first sounded like he was from Alabama and then later sounded like he was from Baston. And according to him, has had 24 beers today because he listed off a 6-pack of Ithaca, a 6-pack of Paulaner, not just any, but the Paulaner Salvatore.
Salvatore.
A 6-pack of that, and then a 6-pack of something else, and then he was just finishing a 6-pack of the Sierra Ruthless Rye.
But he has a hard time with his eyes.
He did not
I don't pronounce my eyes correctly.
Now, whether or not he actually drank all that beer, I don't know. He did sound drunk as a skunk to me. I'll give him that.
Yes.
So he drank. So I think we have a lot of. This is a tough one.
It's gonna be hard.
All right. So Copper, Pythoner, Scary Dude, Z-Brew, and Juice. All right. We're all going to vote, and we've got our friend Mike from Celebrator Magazine's in the room too. Mike, I need you to vote too. Did you hear the phone calls, the Drunk of the Week phone calls? Well, then you can just be like a random swing vote, whatever you want.
Just raise your hand at an appropriate time.
All right. Raise your hand if headbutting Copper is the Drunk of the Week.
He sounded super drunk, and to be honest, he sounded the most drunk of most of the Drunk of the Week calls we've had all last year.
You kind of set the tone.
I'll tell you what,
a lot of our Drunk of the Week calls don't sound drunk.
All right. You talk me into it. So raise your hand again if it's Copper, just so I can get a count here.
Wow.
Okay.
That's game over here.
Copper Kettle.
That's game over. Really? That's it?
What happened?
Well, let's see.
It depends. If Nicole gets her 2 votes,
she can. Yeah, she can double vote. And Tasty hasn't voted.
No, because that would make 8 of us. We can't do double vote.
8 is enough, though.
Pythoner from Georgia. Anybody vote? Tasty's with Pythoner because he talks to his dogs.
He's a close second. Yeah.
He was. I'm telling. That was where I was on the fence. Is between Copper and Pythoner.
He's a fucking insane person.
Can we just give it to both of them?
No, we get a lot of shit for that. Yeah. Scary Dude. No one was going to vote for Scary Dude.
Like the guy, but
Z-Brew
is good.
He's right there. And Juice, I'm telling you, they were all good.
Great calls.
All good. Okay,
It's tough this week.
I guess Copper is our Drunk of the Week. All right, Copper Apple.
Well deserved.
Yeah, I wish we could give it to all of them, but this isn't Little League, you shitheads. Call back next week and you'll be
no
fine.
participation awards.
Call your mother if you
bitches.
want to hurt you.
I feel like JP and I really influenced that. Like, both of our hands shot up when you mentioned Copper's name, and
Right.
you guys sort of came along eventually.
You did. I think I was going to hold off for Pythoner until you both...
Talk you into it.
Yeah.
It's Copper and Pythoner neck and neck.
Pythoner did win Serial Killer of the Week, though, so...
Oh, yeah.
We're all good.
Won't be the first time he's won that award, I'll tell you that right now.
What does the medal for that award look like?
It's self-fulfilling.
It's a picture of JP. It's like it's a naked statue of JP.
that'd be good.
We really should get a naked statue made of you with a really big schlong.
You know what they have? It's so lifelike. You know what they have is casting kits at some places. I don't know if Adam and Eve has it. That'd be rad.
I know what you're talking about.
So you can make a dildo. You can make a mold of your wiener
of yourself. Yeah,
we should sell those.
Each of the brewcasters' wangs.
Yeah, that was so great.
Who would buy one?
But sell them for like $500 because some of the creeps on the show would buy it and not tell their wife until after. That was Justin's wiener.
Listen, JP.
Well, that's true.
Brew Tattoo would not buy those. I just want to.
Yes, he would.
I know what you're thinking, and
Fuck
I'm telling
you.
that Brew Tattoo.
You know he would.
Right.
And he'd hold them up against his own to judge. He would.
He'd mount them on his wall with like a wooden plaque behind him, all sticking out.
It's like, Tuesday's a JP night if I ever bust this one out.
JP, why are you so excited to compete in this?
I think that'd be hilarious.
You have something you're hiding from us?
He's packing, dude.
No.
JP's got that big Greek wang.
I mean, everything's proportionate, probably, I'm sure.
If you want a hop grenade on the tip, that's an extra $200.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hop grenades for balls.
Oh, I did need to do a quick correction. I read you the beer education judge thing. I suppose I should get that right.
Yeah.
Beer judge education.
Yes.
You know, the beer judge education guys where you can go and do online classes to pass the BJCP exam.
Yes, sir.
So last week I said that their guarantee was up through 3 classes. In other words, I said if you weren't satisfied after 3 classes, you can get your money back. It's actually after 2 classes.
Yes, sir.
I fucked it up. That was my correction. So, but you're allowed to do 2 full classes, and as long as you don't start the 3rd class, you can go, hey, look, I'm kind of not into it. It's not what I thought it was going to be. You can get a full refund. But everything else stands. For example, they do have a satisfaction guarantee. If you go through all the classes and you don't pass the BJCP exam, you can take them again. They'll let you go through the whole training program again. And some people just need the repetition, like me.
Can you imagine if the bar exam did that? Where you don't pass the bar, and then you can take all your law classes again.
I see. Oh,
Can't
the law
have that
classes. I
shit.
see what you mean. Yeah. No, you can't. So, so my correction, if you're not satisfied after 2 classes, which is plenty of time to discover if you like them or not, you get a full money-back guarantee, and then you get a pass in the BJCP guarantee. You can just take it again if you don't pass. So, anyway, just a quick correction on that.
You know, and I always find that things that have a money-back guarantee, you never use them.
Yeah, because you don't offer it.
That's right.
If your product is shit.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Or sometimes in infomercials they offer it because it's very difficult to send it back and get it. So you'll offer it if it's either very difficult.
Yeah.
Or if you know people aren't going to use it.
Right.
But they have to pay for their own shipping, and it's like $45 to send it back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. It's the same as why people offer those huge mail-in rebates. Because we're such lazy dickwads that even a $50 mail-in rebate, we're like, I missed a deadline.
Yeah.
I actually read once the average percentage of mail-in rebates, people that actually go for the mail-in rebate.
Yeah.
It's way under 50%. It's
I
like
bet.
38% or something.
It doesn't surprise me at all. We're so stupid.
So dumb.
We buy it because of it. We go, it's like nothing.
Right? Yeah, that's
and then
the
we
real
get it
place.
home and we're like a squirrel. We're like dogs. We don't, we're focused until we get home. Yeah.
Yeah. But my point is, you won't need it with a BJCP thing,
right?
With beer judge education,
You won't.
Hey, by the way, Brew Tattoo says, I would.
Cool. Did he spell it W-O-O-D?
No, he's not that funny.
All right.
He wrote it in purple.
Twitter game.
Oh yeah.
Damn it. You got to. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Because I got some good ones. And I need.
Hey, friend.
I need.
You have to shout it over the closing credits.
Yeah, what do we got?
All right, Archangel Beer. Okay, sorry. The game was, if you could name your kid after a brewing term, what would it be?
Okay, what do we got?
Archangel Beer says Wienery. Good one.
Like it.
Jameson Penn, Evil Twin. Okay, I don't know if that's a brewing term necessarily.
Well, if they're twins and one of them is Evil Twin.
There you go.
Yeah.
Puckhead 33, Krausen Hot Break. Which kind of sounds a little too pompous for me, to be honest with you. He sounds like a piece of shit.
Only if he was the third.
You know what? It's got my vote so far.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm Krausen Hot Break.
Blobberglop would name it Chills with a Z at the end.
Chills.
So you
I
know
like
it's
that.
pretty
Okay.
tough. Village Brew, Slow Fermenter.
Wow.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Set the bar low.
Slow fermenter.
Spider Wrangler. If it was a girl, it would be Augustina Baruna.
Right.
Or Anna Robic.
Oh.
If it was a boy, it
At
would be
least
named...
that's clever.
Right? If it was a boy, it would be named Krausen. Rackor would name it Cold Crash.
Okay. Stripper.
How do we feel about that?
She's going to be a stripper.
Yeah.
Hop Hop. He phrases it as a sentence. I would like to introduce you to my daughter, Rack.
Rack. Stripper.
Or
All
if there
right.
was triplets, it would be Brett, Anna, and Macy's.
That's not bad.
Okay.
It's pretty good, right?
Is that all of them?
Nope.
Okay.
John Foster would name his kid Kegs. So, it would be, I'm picking up kegs after school.
I like that.
Then he says if it's a girl, then her boyfriend won't be tapping kegs anytime soon.
Oh, he's good. That's
good. They're good ones, right? Gator Beer says grist for a guy, so he sounds tough. And yeasty for a girl because, yeah.
Yeasty? I was with you on grist, but really?
That you lost me at yeasty.
Oh, God.
Marie Kiro, I apologize if I slaughtered that name, would name it Kettle. And at first I wasn't going to include it in, but I kind of like the simplicity of the...
Kettle.
Yeah, it's just Kettle.
Okay.
I kind of dig it. Gretchen Bush, Beechwood Triple Hops. Doesn't mean anything, but sounds really cool.
Okay.
Copper Apple, our friend, said, my daughter, Lupe Lynn. All right.
Lupe Lynn.
That's actually a real name.
Oh,
it is.
And then
right.
finally, two brewskis. Jockey Box if it's a girl. or Shank if it's a boy.
Shank is good, kind of.
So there's a lot of good ones. I couldn't fit, and there were much more, but I had to narrow it down. So
Nobody said chive.
Well, I'm like an anaerobic. I think that's pretty
Me
cool.
too. I'm writing down my tops.
Good.
I'd like Lupe and what was it? Kegs?
Kegs was good. Here, I'll run through them again.
What were spiders?
No, it's okay.
Spider Wranglers.
I don't think
what were Spider Wranglers?
Spider. If it was a girl, Augustina Bruna or Anna Robic.
Right.
Or Krausen if it was a boy.
Okay, my favorites are, and if there's more to add, then we can go through the list again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everyone was like seemed to perk up about the same ones.
Yeah.
Anaerobic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lupe Lynn.
I like that.
Lynn.
Yeah.
I really like that one's kind of snuck in at the end. And Foster snuck one in there with kegs.
That was a good one,
more
too.
with his explanation.
That's that you're
not going to be tapping kegs tonight. I like that. I'm going to pick up kegs after school. I mean, it's
That was
good.
cute. Yeah.
It's like the bar called The Office. You know, it
Right.
just works.
Right.
Honey,
Study
I'm
hall.
going to the
Yeah.
office.
Oh, I gotta go clean some kegs. I gotta clean kegs right now.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or my kegs leaking.
Are we voting on this? How does this
I got to
work?
go check my dip tube
we're gonna be
on
voting.
keg. I don't know. I'm just trying.
Aw.
After
Trying
she
to
gets
get
laid for the first time, my seal's leaking on kegs.
And were there any that? So Lupe Lynn, anaerobic, and kegs. Any other additions you guys want in the finals here? Okay.
I liked slow fermenter. I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
Slow.
All right, let me make a note here.
Yeah.
JP likes stupid things.
Yes. Is that really a note? Because you're going to forget it at some point?
Yeah.
Just in fourth place up there.
Beardy says kegs likes getting filled through the bunghole.
Wow.
All right, kegs it is. Kegs our winner.
That's got link.
Yeah,
That's got link.
that sealed the deal.
Yeah, I like the cake. It's got link.
Okay.
Go on and on there.
John Foster, you don't get a prize. You're affiliate.
Yeah, Pure Spirit.
You're a
Yeah,
friend.
you're an asshole.
Yeah, we're gonna get this. No, Foster, we should. I probably owe you a new shirt by now or something. Anyway, so that's a good one. Thank you, sir, for playing our Twitter game of the week, brought to you by Jason Petros.
What size shirt you going to send him?
I don't know. Whatever he needs.
Just had to do it. I'm sorry.
All right, now can we go?
Yeah.
All right, we're not on the air next week, right?
Yeah,
have a
off
festival.
week next week. The week after
Really?
that's the Super Bowl noon start.
Oh yeah, our annual early Super Bowl show. That's right.
Yeah.
Noon show. Do we not have a guest for that?
We do. His name is Mazen Hajar. He's running a huge craft brewery in Lebanon. It's going to be interesting.
Lebanese, you like Lebanese?
I met this guy.
Cool.
Last time I was hanging out in Lebanon, I met him. Actually, I met him at JBF a few years ago. He's a good dude. Okay, so next week, instead of a show, come on out to our Winter Brews Festival. You can hear Forest Day. Played Forest Day music all day today. Just Google Forest Day, and you're going to love the album. I played about 4 songs off of it, and he's good, and he's headlining our show. 30-plus breweries. It's going to be a... It's going to be a hell of a festival. So, winterbrewsfestival.eventbrite.com, or $35. Go get your tickets now, please. And, and then no show on Sunday. And then we'll be back. Early show on Super Bowl Sunday, the week after. Are we good?
We're good.
See you guys then.
Jip, what do you got?
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. The Trophy Fire's new album entitled Modern Hearts is available now at graydayrecords.com. Pick it up and support our friend and yours, Mr. Adam Schlong Schumann. Nate is bringing West Coast IPA to the Midwest in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota. Join him for a public in-store double IPA brew session at Northern Brewer Minneapolis next Thursday. And then on Friday, speaking about IPA at the Upper Mississippi Mashout Homebrew Competition. For more information, go to mashout.org. Beer and food pairing seminar with Nicole at the Kitchen Window in Minneapolis on Thursday, January 26th at 6 p.m. For more info, go to kitchenwindow.com. Justin asks, have you seen the new Gordon Biersch video on our YouTube channel? To check that out, go to youtube.com/Brewing Network. Also, rescue a pit name Prada, please, because I hate this dog. View JP's rescue project at thebiscuit.tumblr.com. Keep up to date on what's on JP's shitty foul mind by checking out his blog at moderndaymerrick.blogspot.com and follow him on Twitter at Major Jip. And be sure to find the Brewing Network and Winter Brews Fest on Facebook and Twitter.
I love homebrew all of the time. Yeah, I think I'm happy, well, I'm the one right now.
cherry stout, yeah, you know what I am talking about. So don't you give me that American crude, boys, I want a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love it, that homebrew? Can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind.